Okay, now I think this is the time when we're actually kind of on air,
Okay.
even though it hasn't clicked in yet. And now redirecting to YouTube. We are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to I Heard They Stream Live number 8. Woj, we
Damn.
did it.
Whew.
Like the, I guess technically 2-month anniversary, even though that means it's been 3 months for us, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But it's been a hell of a hot summer. Like, this is the hot summer Cameron prophesized all those years ago finally coming.
Yeah, man. Uh I get like one weird DM or text a week about the show.
It's starting. It's the drip that turns into the flood.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're gonna have to start talking about chicken nuggets or something.
We're gonna have to start talking about
Yeah.
McDonald's orders. We're gonna have to start,
Well, we could flip it, man, because our take could be McDonald's or Timmy Ho Ho's, because we have an international thing going on.
I would never pick Tim Hortons over anything. I think I'd prefer to lick.
Well, wait, Timmy Ho Ho's would be going up against like Dunkin', right?
Yeah. And I think I would probably pick. I haven't had Dunkin' Donuts in a very long time, but I think I'd probably pick Dunkin' Donuts over Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons is actually owned by Burger King
Oh, really?
as of 2014. I was on the subway the other day and they had like a news ticker, and it's such a major historical event for Canada, the selling of Tim Hortons to an American company, that it was
That's
brought up.
fucked up, man.
This is the anniversary of the sale of Tim Hortons.
This is what they've been warning us about, this globalization.
It's like
Globalists.
It's like a weird thing for like, I don't know, like I guess Tim Hortons is just a license to print money. So I don't know why the original owners sold it to the to Burger King, but yeah, like I would probably pick Dunkin' Donuts. You could pick the most flavorful food item in the world.
Yeah.
Give it to Tim Hortons and they will strip that away, so there's nothing left. No soul left in that dish at all.
I know what you mean, but Dunkin's sucks too.
Yeah, but Dunkin' Donuts has that like American mastery of fast food thing going, where it sucks, but you're still gonna eat it if it's in front of you.
Yeah, all right.
Whereas Tim Hortons, I can definitely like walk away from their dry ass biscuit sandwich any day of the week.
They've been I mean, now that you tell me that makes sense, because they've been creeping up around in the States. I'm seeing them.
There used to be one by the ferry in England. Like when you get on the ferry to go to France, there was like one at the gas station there.
Whoa.
Yeah, very bizarre. Like it was like, who would be going to this? But
Yeah, I saw one in upstate New York last month, and I was like, whoa. Timmy
yeah, we're
Ho-Ho's
coming.
branching out.
We're coming. Yeah, there's a lot in the border towns, I find. Like I feel innate a lot of Canadians going over. People love it, right? Like it's a religion for people.
Yeah.
I don't think Dunkin' Donuts is as popular outside of the East Coast, though, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. No.
We're going out to like Seattle, and they have like Pete's Coffee.
Yeah,
There's like a lot more regionalism in coffee in America than other food things, I find.
Yeah, probably. Coffee is very divisive, right? It's like, yeah.
I'm a tea guy, Yeah. Just got to be the contrarian on everything.
No, I mean, I flop every once in a while. I'll do some tea, but I like coffee, but I can only do like one a day, and sometimes like I can't do like good coffee because it makes me feel like I'm having a heart attack. These guys that are just doing, and I can't do black coffee. I got to have some almond milk in it. I just have this delicate Polish palate. You know what I mean? And it just gets.
It gets you too hyper.
Yeah, man, I can't do it.
It sets you off. You need some.
It also gives me
acid reflux.
From caffeine. It gives me acid reflux from too much caffeine.
This is turning into a different kind of podcast, but I've got a adult onset like intolerance for nightshades. So now I get crazy heartburn every time I have tomatoes, potatoes, or eggplant. Like my 3 favorite vegetable.
And you're vegan.
Things. Yeah, like those are like my staples. So like tonight I made a pasta for dinner and I am sitting here in agony. Luckily I've taken a Pepsid, so hopefully that kicks in. Shout out to the non-sponsor for making me able to get through the episode. But
You do Pepsid. I do Tums.
I do Tums. I find the Pepsid though, when I'm out of Tums, like right now, it's the only thing I have on hand. I've though straight up like taken a spoonful of baking soda, put it in water, and mixed it up and drank that.
That'll do something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It works instantly. I'm sure there's a reason that you're not supposed to be doing that, but I have found that has been.
I don't know what baking soda is. What the hell is it even? You know.
I don't know, but I put it in everything, like by sodium carbonate, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah.
And I put it in like, yeah, I'm making pancakes for the kids. I'll put some baking soda in. I'm making French fries or like roast potatoes. It's like put some baking soda in them with water. Whatever it is, whoever figured this shit out, thank you.
Yeah.
I need it right now to put out the fire in my belly.
In your gullet.
In my gullet. Well, speaking of fires in my gullet, Woj, this thing was a hot mess on fire last week without you. So I'm glad you're back this week. I tried to do it solo and it was very quickly not happening.
Yo, you need me, man. You know
I need you. I need the other engine. Otherwise this plane's just going to go in circles.
Yeah, man. You're like Parrish Smith without Eric Sermon. It just doesn't work, man.
No. How crazy is it that EPMD had like a murder beef?
I know. I think about this all the time.
All the time. And then they went back on tour together.
It's so weird, man.
You're like sitting on the bus, just like, do I go to sleep now? Is he going to kill me in my sleep tonight?
Yeah. I mean, Eric Sermon is a really interesting guy because he came out in the last like couple of years that he had like an opioid addiction.
Oh, wow. Going back to like, I guess the early 2000s, I imagine, or before?
I don't know, because do you remember in the mid 2000s when he like jumped out of a window?
Oh, now you say it. I do kind of remember that.
And then there was that like New York Ron Browse song that was, I'm jumping out the window with this one, jumping out the window with this one.
Was that in reference to that?
It had to be because it was right after it happened.
God.
And it's just like amazing. And I was like a couple months ago, I got obsessed with that song. And when I become obsessed with something, I'll just like, because I have to like name like 100 files a day for work. So one day, like, I'll be like, man, why can't I find this file? And I'm like, oh, because it's called I'm jumping out the window with this one 12. Because I'm like, let me save this real quick. I'm jumping out of the window with this one, jumping out of this with the window with this one 2, jumping out of the window with this one 3.
Yeah. That's crazy. I saw them when Back in Business came out. They played a show here in Toronto that was awesome. I think the Executioners opened, or maybe that was a different show. But then I saw them again at the My Bloody Valentine All Tomorrow's Parties.
Wow.
It was really cool. Like it was like a really weird vibe. It must have been one of the weirdest shows they've ever played because it's like peak UK indie revival era at like a holiday camp. But they were fantastic. It was both times amazing. They were great live.
Yeah, I mean they're great live. I've never seen them, but I watched so many videos. But right before we jumped on, I was watching this video of Method Man and Redman at the MOBO Awards in 1999. Have you ever seen this video?
No.
It's amazing. They're like Method Man is running through the crowd, and then on stage, Redman like jumps up on like the podium that they like announce awards, and then in the audience you see Dame Dash and Jay-Z just like going crazy. It's such a good video, and they both have like, you know, at that time, like all the urban clothing lines, they made that like wet looking denim. We call it wet denim, and it's just like it has like the other side of the weft of the denim. There's more of that, so it gives it that wet look. But they just have like that like denims, you know, top and bottom of that with a white tee. They look so fucking cool.
That's awesome.
Somebody needs to sit them down and show them how cool they could look, because those dudes look crazy nowadays. But
my cousin Miles, who is he's awesome, but he's the biggest Method Man Redman fan in the world. Like anytime the two of them are doing something, he's gonna go see it. and his dream has always been to pass Redman a blunt during the show. So he goes to Vegas and he smuggles one in his shoe, and he's like right up front, and he's filming himself doing it. And it's like he's had to smuggle in his shoe, so the thing's fucked.
Yeah.
And then he lights it and he passes it to Redman during the set. Redman takes a couple inhales and he goes like, "That's the worst roll blunt I've ever had. Take this shit back." He's got it all on camera.
That's so amazing.
Awesome.
That's like running up and kissing Morrissey or whatever. You know?
Yeah. A fool's errand.
Yeah.
There's a video. I think it's in that. Maybe it's in the Jay-Z tour documentary that came out way back when, where it's like Method Man and Redman, and Redman's just gotten like a bunch of weed, and he's going through. He's like smelling the bag of weed and talking about trying Chocolope. It's like from my cannabis fans' perspective, that's like one of my favorite videos ever, because he's like such a deep head about it and so passionate about it, and so early on into that kind of.
Was that the show called like Backstage?
Maybe it's called Backstage, yeah. And there's like
from like the late 90s or
DMX is in it too, I think. Maybe
there's around the same time there was Backstage, and there was Survival of the Illest tour, which was like a Def Jam tour that had those guys as well. So maybe it could be one of those two. Yeah,
we used to put them all like on at the video store I worked at and just watch that or Beef or all day. It's a pretty sweet job. Well, speaking of sweet jobs, we got an unfortunate job to start off the show with, which is the passing of Jim Kimball, who was the drummer in the Laughing Hyenas, played in the Jesus Lizard, played in Mule, an incredible drummer, and very sadly passed away today. So thoughts go out to all his friends and sending love out to all his family. And yeah, an unbelievable drummer. Are you a Laughing Hyenas fan at all?
A little bit. Yeah, they're sick, but I didn't know he died.
Yeah, I think it must have happened. I don't know. It seems to be spreading on Instagram today, people putting up tributes and things like that. Wow. John Brandon put up a great tribute to him, and some awesome photos from Laughing Hyenas stuff over the years with him.
Was he the Jesus Lizard like main drummer?
In more recent years, I think he was. To be honest with you, I don't know. I met him when he was playing with the Jesus Lizard. That was the only time I ever met him. So, but I don't think he was from Texas originally. Right. Okay. So, but I don't know. Once again, I should probably have researched that before he got on here, Woj. Well, definitely not a very good tribute. There's lots of better tributes going on to him right now. That just came on my social media feed before we were going on air. But otherwise than that, it's been inundated with stuff about the Rampage Jackson son beating up Psycho Stu thing, which has become a big news story in wrestling this week.
Yeah, it has, man. I've heard a lot of takes on it. Well, everybody has the same take pretty much, but I'm sure I haven't seen as many takes as you, but yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of things about wrestling at once there. Like certainly like backstage at wrestling, it's not a joke, and certainly not a place you want to be if you're not invited.
Yeah. And
definitely a place that I've been straight up told, like, we will beat your ass if you step out of line back here. Yeah. Like we had cameras, so it wasn't like I was like going back there just hanging out, but they were like, if you film someone who doesn't want to be filmed, we will fuck you up. And
Jesus.
So yeah, it's wrestling, and this is all of this kind of speaks to it. It's like a unique culture, and still kind of like, because it was an outlaw culture at one time, and still has kind of elements and parts of that to it, like the levels of, not to break kayfabe by using the term, but the levels of kayfabe that were going on in that moment, which of course leads to this guy being totally fucked up and it's. I mean,
to be honest, I'm still kind of like confused by it, like, and it's just so bizarre.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It also speaks to stuff I think about all the time about being a dad, and not over the years, but just seeing stuff with Rampage and his son, and kind of the way he's trying to raising him to be a fighter, and just putting a guy in the situation where he's kind of being clowned on and he doesn't necessarily know the kayfabe rules. He's not from that kind of world, and then to bring him into the ring,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it's a lot of poor decisions, I think, went
And
into.
it's also like I hate MMA and UFC. I hate like it's so weird that I like wrestling so much because I like boxing a little bit. Like I could like really enjoy watching boxing, but anything like I just don't like any shit where like a dude gets on top of somebody and just starts pounding on his face. It's like not entertainment to me. It's like crazy. If you
Yeah,
like that, you suck. Like you know what I mean? But the thing is, it's like that stuff is so normalized in culture now. And, like 2 out of 3 guys are into MMA. You know what I mean? So you see this, you're like, oh, I'm in a ring. That means I get on top of a guy and repeatedly hit him in the face until somebody in a Foot Locker shirt rips me off of him. So, like, I don't know. I feel like that's like in the back of people's heads anyway. It's just weird.
my eldest kid is really into MMA, so I've
Mm,
kind of like started engaging with it a little bit more because I was always slightly engaged with it because of the pro wrestling
hmm
kind of crossover connection. And yeah, I'm not same reason as you are. I'm not really a fan of it. And like, man, we were making the wrestlers. I got to know that guy Matt Riddle a little bit, like 10 years ago or whatever, and he was talking about doing the crossover himself from being a UFC fighter to being a pro wrestler. And he's like, dude, you're in a camp for like 3 months. Let's say you get fucking injured. You've paid for this camp. You can't do that fight. You're like, yeah, like pro wrestling, it's like people working together in the ring.
hmm
Obviously, not in this situation, but
Yeah.
normally. And I feel like I want to see that. Like that to me is entertainment. Whereas it's like when it's two guys literally trying to murder each other at the ring, I can see why people enjoy it in terms of an athletic thing, but it's
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
not my cup of tea that much. But
Yeah.
this obviously is where it crosses the line. And it's also, I don't know, I guess in the same way, not this situation, because this is obviously someone was, nearly murdered.
Mm.
But I, when wrestling does cross that line and you do have the guys stop cooperating and start actually being antagonistic towards each other in the ring, I feel that's like NASCAR fans that watch for the car crashes. Like there's an
Yeah.
element of the fan base and there's like an excitement that has for fans because that's not supposed to happen. Like that's you don't want to see people get injured, but also there's like an excitement like, oh, this is for real now. This has
Yeah.
crossed that line. And
And there's a difference though between like, you know, receipts and this kind of shit. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like I don't know, like the Ricky Dozan video where he starts fucking the guy up. Like, he's fucking him up, but not like this.
yeah, like this might be worse than the act incident, which is like that one from Stardom years ago where Yoshishiko beat the shit out of Act, and Act kept coming back for it, and
Oh yeah.
it kept
Yeah.
going. Um,
hmm
but not Act versus Yoshishiko. That was not Yoshishiko. I'm blanking on her name. The other one
I
wrestler's
don't know
name.
the names. I've seen it and it was Stardom and it was just like, yeah, they kept coming back and it was like, but that was like interesting.
It when I think that was also like there was a level of agency because Act kept coming back.
Yeah.
Like
Right,
uh,
right.
and whereas this was the guy's out within the first 2 seconds
Yeah, he
or
just got victimized like
yeah,
immediately.
yeah. And it's anyway a very weird place for us to go. We're not going to be talking about pro wrestling, I don't think, very much
Back to
today.
chicken nuggets for everybody.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm not going to be talking about any
how many do you
sacred
think you could
cows.
eat? How many do you think you could eat chicken nuggets?
I now that I'm vegan, like I would love to find out if there's are vegan like chicken nugget eating contests or
Mm.
like vegan nuggets because I think I could eat them forever.
Oh yeah.
I'm never full. I'm a vegan, like unless I'm eating pasta or something. But like if it's just like quote unquote like the vegan protein type stuff, like the baked
Yeah.
meat stuff, I think I could probably eat that forever.
Yeah, I mean that stuff is just like fried up like oils and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, and like it's like tofu and
Mhm.
or like pea protein or my eldest kid always wants to challenge me to like a wing eating contest. He's like, I'll eat chicken wings and you eat fake wings. And I'm like, I will destroy you.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
never stop eating these things.
yeah. There's nothing in these.
Nothing. It's just flavor. Uh, well, speaking of flavors, David Up and Jamey Jasta, two people that at first blush seem like they're from polar opposite spaces in hardcore, but upon closer inspection are much similar in their backgrounds, I guess, or at least their hardcore kind of tastes kind of lean or come from the same places on a lot of stuff. So I think they weirdly fit together.
Yeah, I agree. And both East Coasters as well. I re-listened to these episodes, but they were actually two episodes of the podcast that like I really enjoyed. So I didn't mind re-listening to them.
My first question for you is, have you gotten to know David Up any better in the intervening 10 years?
No, I haven't seen him once, I don't think. Uh Maybe I've seen him once, but yeah, I mean, just like he said, like we say what's up to each other, like we don't know each other, like I don't think we've ever had like a full conversation, but uh Tear It Up used to play Wilkes-Barre all the time, and Bob Mack, the dude who put on the shows and put on Posse Numbers Fest, he loved the Dead Nation album. So he'd play that in his car all the time. So yeah, I mean, we were fans of them and stuff. And then obviously I tortured him with Cold World printing.
Yeah. I kind of feel like that Dead Nation LP was a huge deal when it
Mhm.
came out. Like I remember the excitement around that. Like that was kind of after they had already broken up, or it's just around them when they were breaking up, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
But it felt like that almost ushers in that next wave of hardcore on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Or at least the first sort of like, so does that predate the Shark Attack 7-inch, or it's around then?
I think it's after
Okay.
actually, but I think it like does it predate like Down in Flames and all
Oh
that
yeah.
stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like I think it kicked that off, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It was almost like post Floor Punch, the next New Jersey band for like
Hmm.
this kind of style of hardcore, fast
Yeah.
hardcore and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they were a huge band for us. Like Tear It Up came to Toronto. First time they played, I think was supposed to be the first Fucked Up show, and maybe we didn't play that one, or I can't remember. But Haymaker played and trashed all their shit,
Hmm.
and then they came back again, and as we talked about on that episode, brought up Mental and Think I Care with them, and it was the day after Think I Care had beef with something in the water. So there
Hmm.
were like a bunch of speeches that were being cut on stage by Think I Care about the situation that happened. But Toronto's kind of like the Europe of North America, or Canada, I should say, is like the Europe of North America in a lot of ways. So no one in the crowd, other than a few of us that were on message boards, knew at all what he was talking about. So like
Yeah.
looking around the room and all these people like hearing this speech in bewilderment was another favorite memory of that show for me.
What was the beef?
I think there was a fight, to be honest. Like I don't
Uh,
want to like, it was like something in the water, and it was like the night before the show anyway, something went down,
uh,
and there were some references made to it on stage, and it was something that was talked about at the time. I guess it would have been on the Rev board or Bridge 90 board, or maybe the Herps board or something, but certainly nothing that the Toronto kids in the crowd with their Alexa on Fire shirts would have been aware of.
that's funny.
And it was also where the Mental Jonas said that Greg actually said fuck social suicide and not career suicide. But I remember hearing fuck career suicide.
Fuck social suicide.
Yeah, like you didn't even know the name of the band.
That's even better. That's even a bigger insult.
It was so good. I think Fucked Up, as I say, would have caught it because Mike played in Fucked Up, but I don't think Greg knew who we were at that
Mm.
point. We were supposed to be a Locking Out band, though.
Really?
Yeah, we talked to Greg a couple times at different points about doing a record, and then I think we were talking about Greg doing the Mind Eraser fucked up split, which
Huh.
never really existed.
Yeah, yeah. That would have been awesome though.
I would have loved it. Like that's still, to me one of the coolest labels around that time period.
Yeah, man. You'd have a lock to put next to your Rev Star.
There's a custom made like Damian action figure that someone gave me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm wearing a locking out jersey on
Oh,
that
cool.
toy. So it's as close as I'm going to get, Woj.
Yeah. How do you feel about your Rev Star? Are you
Well, we only have like a Rev Comp Star, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We share the same Rev
We
Star,
say
you and
we
I.
share the same Rev Star. It's funny because like this weekend I took my kid in to a skateboard store here, Blue Tile Lounge, a great store, and it's actually owned by the guy Sean Moe, who's like a Rev super fan, like
Mm.
hardcore kid. They used to do merch for Grade back in the day. And he was talking about getting like when Grade signs getting like the Rev Star with their number as a tattoo, like way back when.
Somebody did that. I forget who, like somebody that we know, but I can't remember who it is.
It's
But
kind of
yeah.
like I would like to do it, but then again, it's like one of those things that would only mean something to me
Yeah.
and like might look like some weird sketchy gang tattoo to anyone that had no idea what it was or a
You know what
cop
it is? I
tattoo.
feel like if you have a bunch of tattoos and that's in
Yes.
there with them, that's cool. You
Yeah.
know.
I have like my tattoo selection is completely random and just
Mm.
like more tattoos of opportunity than tattoos of like meaning. So I should just get that fucking Rev Star.
Yeah, why not?
I got an HG Fact number.
You do.
Yeah, we have two records on HG Fact.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah, CD compilation and a single.
Damn.
So I was
That's pretty
like,
cool.
yeah, that was like I think even more than Matador. Like that to me was like, oh, this is like the coolest
Yeah, that's so cool.
to be part of that thing. I'd love to get we have a Sub Pop single now.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Damn, man. You're collecting labels, man.
I'm doing it.
Flexing labels like cables.
I
I
love that.
feel
Go
I
on.
feel weird about the Rev Conf because we're because our song's fucked up on it. You know what I mean? And I just feel
Your song's actually fucked up on it. Like the master was fucked up on it, right?
yeah, like the second so like when we recorded it in this weird little studio in Wilkes-Barre. Not the studio that we like you use to demo everything, an even crappier studio that was run by these like old, like butt rock dudes. And we recorded it and somebody was supposed to go back to mix it and no one ever did. We never I don't know what happened. We kept sleeping on it. And this is when Bob Shed was at Rev and he was like hounding us like, "Yo man, we need it, like the deadline's here or whatever." So he ended up just having our bass player at the time, Foster, just go and get the CDs or whatever and send them to him.
Like behind your guy's back.
No, no, not behind
Okay,
our back.
okay,
Just
okay.
just that it was just like, hey man, since it's taken so long, like I think it was like they were giving us the runaround. Like they would never answer the phone or they would never have time to mix the track or whatever the fuck it was. So it ended up that he sent the tracks to Bob Shed and Bob Shed's like, yo, I'll just mix it out here. So this was like, early 2000s or whenever the hell it was. I didn't even have a laptop at the time. So it was like, Bob Shed literally called me on my like, little fucking Motorola and it's
Yeah.
like, hey man, I'm in the studio. How does this sound? And I'm like, I don't know. It sounds kind of weird, and I'm like, I wasn't sure what I was listening to. And like, whatever happened, like it ended up like Dan's second verse, I think. I don't even want to re-listen to it because it pisses me off so much listening to it. Either Dan's full vocals or just the second verse are behind a half beat.
Yeah, that's it. Something it's like a half step behind on the vocals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also there's a scratch part at the end and that's totally off time. So I guess like when they opened the session up, Bob Shed, he was like, yo man, the tracks are just scattered and we just have to put them together, and that's what was so hard to listen to and to catch. certain things being off time. So my rev star has an asterisk, and I'm not happy with it. I'm bummed about it.
Yeah, like I feel like Bob Shed kind of started the rev renaissance during that
Definitely,
period. Like
definitely.
signed a bunch of bands because prior to that, I think Rev was kind of in a real low period.
They were down bad, yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
I was gonna go on Wax and diss them.
oh, you were for
I
that?
was because we wanted to be on Rev, and Bob Shed
Yeah.
didn't want to sign us.
Which is weird because Bob was the first guy that played me Cold World in his
I know.
car and then gave me the copy of the 7 inch because Greg shipped the 7 inches to him, I think.
I don't know why. For some reason, he wasn't down, and it was at the time of Clips. Mr. Me Too came out where he's like, the Crackers weren't playing fair at Jive. I was gonna put in a Cold World song, the Crackers weren't playing fair at Rev.
That's so good. That's so funny. But yeah, the that comp our song is actually a song by Terminal State
Right, right.
that was dissing us, and so we took this song and changed all the lyrics to be about Terminal State.
That's
And then
amazing.
they gave it to the Rev comp because I remember the contract being like a little weird, and like it might not have been. It might have just been like where our heads were at as a DIY punk band that we had to sign a contract.
Yeah,
But we're like, okay, we'll sign the contract with someone else's song.
that's amazing.
It's a cool comp. Like the track list of it is a lot cooler than I think everyone's songs on it.
Yeah, yeah, it looks cool on paper.
Yeah.
But I mean, do you think the name of it is a kind of a take on Fucked Up Generation?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like that's interesting.
I've
I don't
always
think so
thought of
because,
it that way.
but I think we were like in terms of hardcore, I think we were a much more minor band than we ever were in terms of like the broader indie punky kind of world. Like I think in hardcore, like I remember playing that Posse Numbers that
Mhm.
year when I got the Cold World 7 inch from Bob and just being like, yeah, we do not fucking fit in here at all, really. Like we just were not that kind of like.
Dude, I don't even remember that you guys played Posse Numbers.
We played the year Betrayed headlined.
Oh.
And that's when I realized the singer from Betrayed looked just like Jay Scheller. And
Yeah.
we were trying to convince Jay Scheller to go on before they played and grab the mic. That's canceled.
Yo, we're automaton.
Yeah.
Move up. This song's about plastic bags. Yeah.
I love that record, the Automaton single.
I don't even remember what it sounds like, but I love it too.
I think the limited one was split green and white vinyl, if I'm not mistaken,
Oh,
which
that's
is
sick.
the one I have. So, yeah, speaking of New Jersey hardcore, so when Tear It Up I think like I saw Tear It Up a bunch, but the only time I ever got to see to ABC No Rio was at the Tear It Up Ruination show when Tear It Up was playing, and that was just after the first 7 inch kind of came out, and they were like the hottest band in hardcore at that time.
They definitely were.
It's interesting how like much American like DIY hardcore kind of imitated UK indie mainstream rock in terms of like the music press getting onto a band and just like building that band up. And I say this is a band that kind of benefited from that system back then as well. And it was very similar to what happened when we went up on the cover of the NME and kind of part of that thing where it's almost like, oh, this is cool. It's like a feeding frenzy of stuff and it benefits these bands obviously because it makes these bands, it gives them an international presence and makes them kind of like household names at the squat.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, most of all though, Tear It Up was just so good live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that is what made them their live show was so good.
And I think a lot of that is, I think Dave to me is one of the great front people of our era because
100%.
Because he just had a personality and like a charisma on stage that
he looked cool.
Yeah. and like
I mean, the whole
emoted.
band kind of looked cool, like in a way, like like they just had they didn't look like nobodies, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they look like they should be, doing that shit.
Well, it's funny. Like I don't even know if I've ever told Dave this, but when Fucked Up started, we were like, those guys aren't losers. Like we're real fucking losers. Like those guys have attractive partners and they're
Yeah.
good looking dudes and they're popular with all these like bands that we love.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it's it just we were like, we're the fucking losers. They're the
That's
cool
awesome.
guys. And that was
Yeah.
like kind of what spurned us on in a lot of ways too. Like we were huge fucking fans of them, but at
Yeah.
the same time, we were like, they're way cooler than us. Why, they're writing songs about how they're losers. No, we're the fucking worst.
That's some competition you had going on there.
Yeah, it was. It was like a race to the bottom at that point in hardcore.
Yo, my favorite thing about Tear It Up is, what was the guitar player's name? The shorter one?
Andy,
Andy.
best dude.
Yeah, he's the man. But my favorite thing was when I stumbled upon videos of him on YouTube busting packs. Do you know about that?
Yes, no, he is. I have been on him for years to start a YouTube show called From the Swamps of New Jersey because he's got such like a great life to him and like inner light that shines through, but he's like obsessed with going to the swamps and playing with like reptiles and finding animals like in a very like nature conservation kind of way. He's not just like fucking with
he's
them.
into that big time.
Yeah, not sticking firecrackers and frogs, I mean, or anything like that.
But then it's called like herping, right?
Is that what it's called? I didn't know it had a name.
Yeah, herping.
And then he's also like super into baseball
busting
cards,
packs,
busting packs, and like, yeah, I love that dude. I think everyone in that band, it's like the Monkees or something. Like everyone's got like a personality, and
because there was like the like more like 77 style, not 77 style, but I don't know, like 99X style punker dude in the band. Remember him?
Yep. Yeah.
And then the drummer was kind of like an interesting personality, right? Like I remember he was kind of a divisive guy. Like some people didn't like him or something. And it's always cool to have one of those guys in the band. But the funny thing about finding Andy busting packs on YouTube is I didn't know anything about busting packs, and for some reason I got interested in it, and I was like watching YouTube videos, and I just randomly watched one of like a New Jersey baseball card store, and it's just these fucking losers in the store like, all right, this guy got this pack, bust it down. He's like, no, nothing, didn't get anything. Like, okay, Andy, bust your pack. And then I'm like, is that the fucking guitar player for Tear It Up? Like I would like, no one sent it to me like, yo, check out the guitar player for Tear It Up busting packs. I found it fucking completely randomly, and like my brain exploded.
I've now become inundated on social media feeds on TikTok with people busting packs.
Yeah.
And there's an excitement of watching someone bust a pack, or just the anticipation for them to bust their pack in front of you. There's something magical about that moment. Did you, to bring it back to punk rock, they do those insert cards, right? Like where you get like, it's like part of the jersey.
Yeah.
So they've now got to find a way to do this for every type of card set that Topps puts out. So in the new Garbage Pail Kid line, there's an insert card that has an autograph and show used guitar strings from Billy Joe Armstrong.
Wow.
Yeah, like in the pack. That's like one of the chase items.
That's pretty cool.
It'll be interesting to see what that sells for, because a lot of those patch cards, like with the bigger names, people sell for like hundreds of thousands of dollars at the top end of it, or tens of thousands of dollars in some cases.
I've seen one where it was like an insert of like a check that like Mickey Mantle signed.
Whoa.
Yeah, shit like that.
I heard about this. Now I'm obsessed with this type of card content. That the last game that Michael Jordan played, at the end of the game, I think it's Topps bought the floor and then cut it up and inserted it into cards like packs. and that you could like from that series of cards you can find bits of the floor like labeled or like
Yeah.
the card printed on that. And I'm like, oh, that's so fucking sick.
Yeah. I've pitched that idea for like sneaker projects a bunch of times. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, like it could be an insert in the shoebox. Like just get Nike or Reebok or whoever we're doing the project with, like if it's an Allen Iverson, buy a game worn Allen Iverson jersey, cut it up and make inserts into the shoebox, and then that makes it super limited or whatever. But it never went through. But I'm sure somebody will do it.
Yeah, because you see it happening with skateboards now, right? Like you get blind packs of like a skateboard comes in like a foil pack.
Oh, really? I've never seen that.
Yeah, they did it with like a Pokemon one and some X-Men ones. And these are
Mm,
like real skate brands that are doing it in drops at skateboard shops.
yeah,
And it comes in like a large foil card looking pack. And you
yeah.
don't know which graphic you're going to get till you rip it open. And there's chase graphics in there and weird colorways and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
wow. Interesting.
Well,
Mm.
like, you know, you go to Japan, you see it at like McDonald's, right? Like limited edition
Yeah.
chicken McNugget box for this month and stuff. So there's someone out there that's going to collect everything. And I just think
Hmm.
people also like, as you know, you and me know, people love the idea of having something that someone else doesn't have or
Yeah. It's cool, but at the same time, like as a collector, I like that stuff, but also it's like kind of lame because it's stuff that's like made to be collected, which I fucking hate. And
yeah.
then also I'm so over the fucking secondary market and the secondary marketization of everything. Someone tries to figure out a way to have a secondary market on every kind of product. You know, it's so whack. And like, even like with sneakers now, like the sneaker resale bubble completely burst. Like, there's, handful of years ago, there was like multiple sneakers coming out a week that would resell for at least 2 to 3 times their retail value.
Mm-hmm.
Now the majority of sneakers that come out sell for under resale retail value on the secondary market because it's it's not cool anymore, you know what I mean, because it's so lame. It's like what I described. It's like something that is made to be collectible, so it
Yeah.
ultimately isn't, right? So like kids start thinking it's lame, so whatever, the bubble bursts. But meanwhile, it's you still have to get your sneakers from StockX. They still sell out on Nike, and you still have to go to this other thing to buy your It's like so stupid. Like,
Yeah. And it also, you know, like at one point, the idea of like getting a guitar string and being like, this was Billy Joe's guitar string. I know that it means something to me because I was at
yeah,
the show and I somehow acquired this thing, you know, and like guitar picks and drumsticks and all that kind of stuff.
mm-hmm.
And it's just like another way to monetize something that used to be accessible to anyone and everyone. And like you're saying, like, it's not like the Green Day fan. There, sure, some Green Day fans are going to be motivated now to buy Garbage Pail Kids, but let's be
Yeah,
honest, most of those cards are going to wind up in the hands of people that are busting
yeah,
lots of packs, pack
yeah.
after pack after pack to get them.
I would love to bust a pack of the '80s WWF cards, though. That'd be fun.
We should do an episode where you and me just stare in each other's eyes and bust packs.
Yeah,
You know, like just two, like locking in, just
just
busting
bust
packs,
packs at the same time.
busting packs at the same time.
I'd bust that pack. I'd bust a pack of Yo MTV Raps cards.
The metal cards would be fun. Trying to get the like the two Chromax cards that are in the set. Like I think there's a Paris one. I know there's a Harley one, right?
Yeah, there's like there's like it's just like was it metal cards or was it just like music cards?
I thought they were like metal rock cards because like
Because there's like Morrissey in the same set.
I think it's a different.
Oh, that's a different one.
I think
Maybe.
so because like I
Okay.
think I'm thinking of one which has like Cozy Powell cards and like Anthrax cards and stuff. Maybe it's the
Okay.
same set, but I would have maybe. I think I would have held on to the Morrissey cards. I don't know if I would have held on to the Chromax cards back then,
Yeah,
not knowing them.
I know I have the Morrissey card. I might have the Harley one. I don't know.
There's a there's like you know, baseball cards that I want, like Scott Radinsky cards.
Yeah.
And I like have a couple of them just from being like a kid buying cards back then.
Yeah.
And then I went online and I'm like, oh, cool, like a Scott Radinsky card. And I found a lot. You can get like 15 different Scott Radinsky cards for like X number of dollars.
Yeah.
And then they had one of those cards slabbed for like 15, 30 times the price type thing because someone sent it off to be graded. And I'm like, oh, that's what's going to ruin collecting.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking today because I was like going through stuff ahead of this interview trying to find the Hatebreed quote about quicksand. And I was like, I should send away like my Victory magazine to get slabbed and graded by CGC or something.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing about those is it keeps track of how many are graded and at what grade. So if you were the first person to grade it, you'd have the,
you'd have the top grade
one.
for it.
Yeah, you'd have the top grade.
We should just slab all our zines and become the most hated people.
Do you have any slabbed item?
No. Do you have any?
I have one.
Like a comic book or a record or what?
It's a card. I'll grab it right now.
This doesn't count as your three things. Don't worry.
This doesn't count.
Woj has gone up to get the slabbed item for those of you who are listening into the audio form. Like, this is why you should be watching us on the YouTube, because you'd be missing out on this stuff. Okay. What's your slabbed card? Oh, whoa, a Tiger Mask card? Where'd you get that?
Just on eBay for like $20 or something.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know. I wanted to get a Tiger Mask toy the last time I was in Japan. And they're so expensive. Like the original ones are like, like a super beat up one that's like missing either the mask or the cape or something. It's still like $400. So I didn't get it. And then when I'm back here, I was just searching eBay for Tiger Mask stuff. And I saw that for like, like 20 or $30. I was like, I don't know. Something's telling me to get that,
Yeah.
so I got it. But this is a cool set of cards because there's like, there's a Bruiser Brody, there's a Ric Flair, and a bunch of shit. It's from '83.
Those are like a NWA card set, or?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's
American card set, I guess. Right?
It's American, yeah. I mean, this says he hold both NWA and WWF junior heavyweight titles concurrently. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's all. I'm sure I will eventually like see a Scott Radinsky card in the wild, like on a slab or maybe. But for me, I think with like records, it feels like I'd be locking it away.
Yeah, it's stupid. I don't hate it for cards.
Yeah,
because you could still see the whole card.
That's the medium still exactly as it should be presented that way.
Exactly,
100% agree.
Yeah, but for comics, it's obviously stupid. You know what I mean? But I understand it for like super old comics.
Yeah, and I also get it for like if you're gonna have $1 million comic book for sale or $2 million comic book, like you're not going to be reading that thing. You're not going to pop it open. Like, sure, like seal it in Mylar forever.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, yeah, like it's just, you've lost the actual value of this item because you've been preserving the financial value of this item.
There's certain I have like a couple issues or like 2 or 3 like 8-ball number ones, and I had Klaus sign one of them, and it's like if I graded that, it would be a really good grade. So I think about getting that grade, and I have like a Sandman number 1 that would probably be like a 9.7 or something like that.
Yeah, I think the one thing that would potentially want to get graded would be signatures on stuff for my kids, like being like, here, like if you want to sell this at some point, like it's been like that way they'd know when I'm dead. Like, okay, don't just give this one to Goodwill. Let's try and sell this one to help pay down some of the debts. It's Steve Aoki's the one, I guess, who's really pushing it for records right now. I wonder, he's got a stake in that whole thing. So,
I mean, from what I see, it's not taken off at all, thankfully.
No, like I think for punk and hardcore people, it's you'd want to look at that record. Like, there's no way I would take someone's word that the record's in good condition, and then to have it out of the sleeve exposed with like something mounting the label on it. It's just, maybe a flexi you'd want someone to have it graded, but
But like, there's something to be said though about not the grading of it, but like if you had like a clear, like I like frame things sometimes in these Muji frames that are just like two sheets of plastic that screw together. And like if I had like a fucking lexicon devil, right? And if there was a way to safely have the insert laid out and the seven, like that would look so sick.
yeah, like a 4 panel kind of setup with the
Yeah,
cover, the thing. And it'd be cool if it was double sided because that way you could flip it around to see the
exactly.
back side of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's certainly, but I like also, I kind of love, like, as long as the vinyl's in good condition, I love beat up sleeves or like sleeves with shit written on them, like to
Hmm.
tell a story. I feel like, that's like a part of it. And seeing that sealed away would feel a little weird, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
but there's certain records that are like a perfect looking record.
Yeah.
It's like fucking art. And
The
to me,
automaton
like,
7 inch, half green, half white, perfect sleeve.
yeah, the picture of Jay like fucking rolling around on the floor on the back is needs to be framed,
It's a perfect
in
record.
fine Japanese plastic.
Uh I guess we should talk a little bit about the Jasta episode
Well,
of.
one more thing
Oh yeah, go on.
on the David up. I'm like really jealous of his like early show going.
His early show going and also his early record scoring
Oh yeah.
too. He
Mm,
he bought a lot of records off Spot, the producer, like back in
yeah.
the day. So he had Black Flag test presses, like all weird colors of My War, like
Wow.
test presses of other shit. He had a crazy Black Flag collection, like Cooch level of Poison Idea Black Flag kind of collection back then. And yeah, yeah, wild. Yeah,
Damn.
his early show going experiences are fascinating because at the time I just assumed he was like kind of like a youth crew background dude, and this was like his next chapter, which like a lot of the kids, myself included in Toronto, were kind of from.
Hmm.
But the fact that he came from what we would have termed crust punk, but
Yeah, but just
like street
regular
punk.
punk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it the division of between those two scenes is so interesting because like, now, you know, it's obviously not like that, but like, like for instance, like I know for a fact like Alex Russin has never heard Poison Idea
Ever.
ever,
It's
you
weird
know?
because he loves guitar and he's a guitar guy, and they've got such a weird guitar kind of thing
I
going
know, and
on.
he loves like bluesy like rock guitar, but he doesn't know that that's what that is. He thinks it's like total chaos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, because they're on that Punkorama compilation with
oh, are they?
Epitaph, right? Like
I
they're
didn't
on
even know that.
Punkorama number 3. I think Plastic Bomb's on it. I remember my friend having
Oh,
it and us just being blown away. Like, and then seeing the photos of Pig and like being like, this is crazy. There's a band where this guy's this big and they sound like this and he plays
yeah.
on a couch. Like,
I mean, I didn't get into them till way later. Like just like certain stuff from that world, you didn't step to unless it was presented to you in a certain way, or you got, I don't know, like there were like major divisions like that mullet board era, you know.
yes. Yeah. Like I remember coming up with like a top 10 list of 7 inches and writing it down and my top 10 list of LPs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to post this on the mullet board. And Mike from Fucked Up being like, you will get fucking destroyed if you
Yeah.
post that on there or that stuff on there. It was like Judgment Records and like, like I was obviously like a little kid back then. I probably would reassess the list. Judgment would still be on it, of course. But
Yeah.
at that time, like you're saying, like even liking like non youth crewy, non capital H American hardcore was kind of like a weirdo move.
Hmm. And there was like, there were certain shows at home base and Wilkes-Barre where like there would be crossover, and like like the Havoc records, like distro table would come through, and like they would have, you would buy like the straight ahead bootleg LP from him and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But there were certain guys like my one friend Dave Janis, like, he was super into Poison Idea and all that stuff, like just as much as, you know, Count Me Out and the stuff that, was going on at the same time. So there are certain people that would like bridge that gap for sure,
Yeah. I think Porter playing Matt DeLong crossed out in his car one time was like the moment where those guys started respecting my taste in like hardcore a little bit more. They were like, yeah, Porter likes that band crossed out that you like too. It's fucking crazy. And it was, yeah, because it was like, it was very divided, which is interesting because Felix von Havoc was like an OG DC hardcore kid. And like all of these people came from kind of the same place. And like there were, but like Sweet Pete gave Todd from Tragedy his Discharge records. And
Oh, really?
That's where Todd got his Discharge records from.
Dude, did I send you? I was looking. I was like, I got like some old Wilkes-Barre zines off eBay from this seller, and I was looking at his other zines, and there was this one. I forget what it was called, but it had an interview with Sweet Pete, and the picture. I looked at the picture. They just, the listing is just a picture of the front and back of the zine, and then one in the middle, which was the interview with Sweet Pete. First question of the interview: have you ever said the N word?
Holy shit!
But said it, typed out. Sweet Pete's one word answer: yes.
Holy shit! That's
and then Sweet Pete is like, why? Did you hear that we're a racist band or something? And the guy goes, no. I just thought I'd ask.
Holy shit. What was that? That is insane.
I'm gonna buy it. I have to buy that. I need to own that zine. But I sent it to him in our Howard Stern group chat. And I was like, hey Pete, do you remember this pivotal interview? He's like, yeah, I remember it vividly. I was like, this is back when hardcore like respected like journalism, journalistic standards.
That is fucking insane. That could be like a whole terrible version of Turned Out a Punk that just starts with that question every single episode. Wow, that is fucking insane. Yeah, that's like, I feel like I went to university before I stopped going, but like I was there for like a year and in Toronto. And one of the classes I had was a women's studies class, and they were talking about zines being an absolutely vital form of literature, communication, study, and how important they were in particular, talking about feminism.
Yeah.
And that time. But like, I feel like for hardcore and punk, it's the same way because there's like a rawness to zines that's not like any magazine interview from that era.
Dude. I mean, and that's like zines with interviews.
Yeah.
The reality is the majority of 90s hardcore zines had no interviews and were just like, dude, like this zine that I got, the last one that I got from the Wilkes-Barre area, is from this dude, Sean, who I knew as like a kids movie era skater dude, and he was like the man in that scene in Wilkes-Barre. And like, he, he would tell me that he used to be a hardcore guy, and I like couldn't even believe it. You know what I mean? And he would like, he knew all about it and stuff. So like, damn, this guy's the fucking man. And then he went on to become a pretty interesting character. But anyway, this zine is like from him when he was like probably like 15 or 16, right? And dude, like almost half of the zine is articles about how sex is wrong. Yeah. Like straight up, like just this 16-year-old kid, probably 15, because I don't think he was actually, he's one of those guys that like never drove. You know what I mean? He's an interesting guy.
I'm with him.
Okay, you're one of them. You're an interesting guy.
I'm a weirdo.
Yeah. But it's just like, and you're just like, oh, I just like, I remember like these synapses happening in my brain when I was a little kid too, but I didn't fucking take it to Kinko's.
Yeah, that's like, as much as like like there's a like a reissuing zine culture out there.
Hmm.
I'm I'm never surprised how many people I talk to that are just like, there's no fucking way I'm ever
Yeah,
reissuing my zine. I'm like, I
yeah, yeah,
completely understand it. And this is people with like very respected zines that are just
yeah,
like, yeah, there's some shit in there that I wrote as a 17-year-old that I can't
yeah.
stand by as a 40 something year old
I mean, dude, the
plus.
biggest thing, what, dude, like the biggest trend at that time was zine articles and bands. Almost every band had a song about anti-abortion,
Well, yeah, certainly the hardline era and like
but
that.
not even hardline, dude. Like just in hardcore in general, it was a thing.
It was a thing, but like it was a thing for like the vegan side because there was also
Yeah,
just as strong a counter thing to it the whole time.
there was. Yeah,
Like how many times have someone come on the show and talked about being at a show where Earth Crisis got Velveeta bombed or
yeah,
yogurt bombed for that song,
yeah, 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 yeah,
and they wrote the
yeah,
apology note for that song like that was inserted afterwards, like real quick. Like that was like, kind of explaining it and saying like we didn't mean it like this and like but it is something that has followed them kind of, I think, certainly in that era. At every
yeah.
show it was like, not actually, probably every show there was a kid that wanted to take them at task about
Mhm.
that song, because I remember they showed up in Toronto like second victory, third victory record era, third victory record, like the last victory LP, and people were still bringing that shit up on stage to them and stuff.
Yeah, I don't, but this dude Sean, whose zine this was, I remember there are these two. My buddy Adam, his older sister Laura, her and this other chick Kate were like the cool like riot girl type chicks in our scene, and they had a zine that like won some sort of award or something, or maybe was featured in 17 magazine
Mm-hmm.
or something. And the chick Kate went on to just like last year like wrote a book about like, I want to say it was about American Apparel or something, but her name's Kate Flannery. But anyway, we were me and the dude Sean, I was driving and we were pulling up to, she was having a party at her house, Laura. And he was like, hold on a second, yo. And he takes his book bag and he like took out like two like cans of beer and just like slammed them and threw them out the window on the street. And I was like, damn, dog, you're just gonna litter like that? And he's like, yo, dog, like these houses and these streets. He's like, that's litter to me, yo. And I was like, whoa, bro, it's mad deep, son.
I
And we
remember
went to the party.
I remember going to a party at someone's house. I think it was Chris Callahan's house. No, it wasn't even Chris Callahan wasn't living there at the time. It was some hardcore kid's house. And this guy we were with eating like a sandwich or something and throwing the wrapper on their front lawn. And it was like, dude, like, what are you doing? He's like, let the rich people drown in their own filth.
Oh my God.
It's like, this is our friend.
Yeah.
Going over here to party for a second. God. Well, let's I guess move on to Jamey Jasta.
Yeah.
This was an episode that was like, I think a week or so after I did an interview with him live in person for his podcast. So this was kind of the follow up, and
Oh.
it was kind of weird. He asked me to come on his podcast, and then he's like, and then I'll do yours. And I'm like, oh fuck, we're gonna eat up all the shit I want to talk about in my podcast on his podcast. Like and so I was like kind of nervous about it, but yeah, his podcast did not cross over on any of the streams that we talked about on this one at
He
all.
just asked you about how many chicken nuggets you could eat.
There were no chicken nugget questions, but there were a lot of business questions about the
Right.
music business, and he's a lot better with the business side of
Mm.
the music biz than I am. But he is, to me, going back to like the first tour, like the first records that they put out, like that's Hatebreed in that era is like one of my favorite bands in terms of like the records they were putting out. And when
Mm.
Satisfaction is the Death of Desire came out, that was a like pre-refused Shape of Funk to come, pre even the Flegus the Floor Punch LP was, but this was like the record that shifted. Like so many things changed after this record came out.
Definitely. You know what's weird? I never owned it.
I think I only owned it on a CD. back then.
I had like a this promo sampler tape that just had the first song on it.
Yes, I remember that tape too. Did they
Yeah.
have it? Was it a split promo tape too with someone on the other side,
I don't
or was
remember.
it just the song on? Yeah, it was.
Maybe.
It's that record because I think that record begats Right Brigade, and Right
Yeah.
Brigade begats No Warning,
Yeah.
and obviously Hatebreed begats No Warning too. Like
Mhm.
they was a kind of a combination, but so those were like just completely changed everything um in this one.
Yeah. I had Under the Knife 7 inch. For
Someone
some
just
reason I
called
just never
sorry,
got the LP.
the other night 7 inch I fucking loved. Someone just pointed out that yeah, Jasta said there's no pride in being poor, which is might be the most insane line I've ever
Yeah,
heard on a
I
podcast.
peeped that and I was like, whoa. I mean, you know what's interesting? What kind of like not weirded me out, but like how he was so bummed on Quicksand, right? And like bands going like soft or whatever it is he doesn't like about it.
Yeah.
About like, you know, hardcore bands like making I've been thinking about it a lot recently, so I call it like making their grown up bands.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
for some reason in his head that's bad, but as long as you're being heavy, you know, doing all the sellout shit is okay as long as you stay heavy.
Well, you know
I
what?
can't like grasp that.
Yeah, because I've been thinking about it a lot too since re-editing this episode or re-listening to the episode, and like you're saying, there's a point where Hatebreed crosses that line, and like he's complaining about, like those guys were just going for it at a certain
Yeah.
point, like they were like playing with alternative bands, and I guess this the accusation you could make of Hatebreed at a certain point, you guys just became like a big metal band, and
Yeah.
I think he probably would acknowledge at a certain point Hatebreed stops being a hardcore band and becomes something different. Like obviously sonically they never stop doing what they're doing, but just in terms of the way he was kind of like talking about it, like I was like looking for Hatebreed flyers today, old ones, and I found one for a show that's like Crudos, Charles Bronson, Voorhees, and Hatebreed.
God damn.
So fucking awesome.
That's amazing.
Could you also just imagine the vibe of those dudes back then in a room with all those other people?
Where was it?
Fuck, I got it right here on my desktop. Let's call it up. In Chicago, I'm sure. But let's see, which flyer was it there? I say this, my desktop is a fucking mess, as you can
Oh,
probably.
mine is a war zone.
Yeah, this is
Mine's a Hatebreed pit.
yeah, this is definitely mine looks as messy as this flyer looks. I wonder if I can show this on the screen. I don't know. I should figure out how to do that. Yeah, it's DeKalb, Illinois,
Mm,
on April 7th. I guess it would have been 96, I think. But
damn.
yeah, what a show. Charles
Yeah.
Bronson opening, Hatebreed on after.
I mean, Hatebreed at that time in '96, like they weren't like the penultimate beatdown or whatever mosh band yet, right? You know, like
But they still
so
had like Boulder in the band, and they still had like they were an intimidating Connecticut had a reputation back then as being like the
definitely,
hardest.
definitely,
Like people mosh with hammers
yeah,
at the shows there, and yeah, so like they were an intimidating force, I think, right out of the gate.
hmm
But that was before, yeah, like they would have been much more a part of that scene, I think, than they would have been Sick of It All in the very beginning. I mean, like that
yeah. I
whole
mean, I don't know, like I just see Jamey as becoming like just like a spokesman for just like heavy music in general,
yeah,
right? So to me, I feel like there's certain people like you know how there's like certain people who like they have to like the music has to be aggressive or it just doesn't even count to them,
yeah,
you know, and there's certain people that are like the opposite. As soon as they hear heavy music, they're like, this is for morons or cretins or you know what I mean? Like, and I don't know, like one thing like looking through all these like old 90s zines I've been getting and stuff, it's just like there's like these zines there'll be pages and pages of just talking about ideas and stuff before, and not even mentioning music, like,
Mhm.
and it's just like there's just like this like crossfade period of where it just is about being heavy music, and that's the you know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
just so weird to me. Like all that 90s shit got completely
Yeah.
fizzled out.
Well, I think that's his second act, because
Yeah.
that first act, he's like the DIY hardcore show promoter, like feeding shows to like all the local DIY promoters, like, you
Yeah,
know,
but is that DIY like he was like fucking Mr. DIY or die, or was it like he's a fucking hustler, man, and that was where he started? Like, and I don't
yeah,
mean that in a negative way. I
no,
just
I know what
mean
you're
like,
saying. I think
yeah,
he
like,
develops into that, like, he's obviously like, has a background where he had to hustle to make shit
yeah.
happen. Like that comes across in the episode. But
Mhm.
I think like him becoming the music industry guy is, I think, by virtue of the success that Hatebreed achieves. Like, had it not been that, I see him being almost like a Felix von Havoc in a different kind of way, like an East Coast, like maybe a lawful good version, or maybe more a chaotic neutral version of Rick
Rick
to
to
Life.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he had a distro, a crazy fucking distro.
Yeah.
Like, and the shit he was putting out on his label, like, there was some commercial upside to it, but it's not like if you're putting out a Right Brigade record, you're like, fuck MTV boys. Like back then, especially, like there
Yeah,
are
like don't get
limits
me
to it.
wrong, like I don't think like he is a total sellout or anything like that. I don't think that's what it's all about for him. I just think it's weird that he's so mad at I don't know, the other side of it, like the more like post hardcore or quote unquote alternative, when it's like to me that's actually harder to do and is actually more of a leap of faith, like
But I
the
see why he's mad at it, right? Like I see like that, and it's, I think, also like Minor Threats filler, I think, is like the ultimate song that addresses this. There's like a massive insecurity in hardcore kids when someone leaves hardcore, like what happened to you? You're not the same anymore. Like we were all part of this thing, and now you're like, you want to be cool, like you want to hang out and tour with these kind of bands. And like, so I can see where Jamey, as someone who probably loved the Gorilla Biscuits, would be like, why do these guys want to tour with the fucking Cure? I don't even know what I
yeah,
guess what the
yeah, I know what you
aspiration would
mean.
be, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah, just like a non-heavy band.
yeah, not even necessarily non-heavy, but like, why would you be aspiring for more than this that we have right here? And like, it's only when you're an adult and you kind of like, not an adult, but when you kind of go through it and you're kind of like in it, you realize like, oh yeah, like,
But the thing is, like, he's it's not that from my perception of it, he's not he's not let down by these bands because they're trying to make it. He's let down by them because they're trying to make it playing wimpy music. Because
well,
at the same time, he's like, yeah, the earache was happening,
yeah,
like Chaos AD or whatever. Like,
no, he because I'm editing a video of that section right now, which I
uh,
may or may not put out because I'm like, kind of comes off dickish to Quicksand a little bit, and I don't want it to be. I wanted to be like, I think it's awesome that his dislike of Quicksand inspired Hatebreed. Like I think that's,
yeah, me too. Like that's the thing. Like I love that kind of
but
shit.
the
But
bands
I'm
he's
just trying to wrap my head
yeah,
around
the
the thought
bands he
process.
specifically mentions, he's like, they were talking about hardcore and it's a lack of perspective because at the time that they're talking about them being a hardcore band, he's like, I'm listening to the Voorhees,
Yeah.
I'm listening to No Escape, and he's very specific, like DIY hardcore bands. Born Against is another one, which I think Jamey Jasta loving Born Against is the mind blowing.
I know that was so cool that he said them specifically.
Yeah, like, and I feel like from that point of view, I think he was just like DIY or die back then. And then it's like, I don't know, like
But I don't think it was DIY because he's saying in the same breath, fucking vulgar display of power.
but
Like
that's like I
I
think,
literally think
yeah,
he's like, yo, the heavy metals and the hardcore's got to come together and make the
he did,
heavy
yeah,
mafia. Like I think that is his That's his MO. It's
I
just
think that's,
heavy music.
I feel like that's post signing to Victory, lead up to Satisfaction of the Death of Desire, because like Victory was so kind of hated back then by hardcore kids too, that even signing to Victory was kind of looked at as being like, oh, you're signing to a fucking major label type thing, right? Like, I don't know, because like he to me is,
It wasn't in that part of the scene.
it wasn't in that part of the scene, but he was like the dude who was like repping the most insane, like he had Zao bootlegs in his fucking distro back then.
Yeah.
Like he like was into that shit. Like granted, he's really young, and I think it's like he they found success. He's super young. I'm looking at a photo of him singing in Marauder. He looks like he's like singing in a Marauder shirt.
Yeah.
It's like that famous photo passing the mic. And I'm like, he looks like he's 17 in
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
photo. Like he was like
Yeah.
a kid doing all these shows, and anyone who went to Connecticut. But like, yeah, he always had a hustler's mindset. And that's, but it's like coming from the same place that I feel like a lot of people in hardcore kind of had. We got to hustle to make this thing bigger because what we're doing here is so awesome and more people have to know about it. And I think it
Yeah.
evolved into something different as time went on because, you know, you got famous,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
And like that's cool, man. Like I get that. Like if you're just like a a soldier for heavy metal bass music, like that's cool. I just
yeah, like he gets like, I've always been, and that's why I wanted to do that interview with him like so early on, because I knew he did have like that Voorhees tour connection. I knew the people he connected with in Toronto back then. And like, talk about weird columns. I have like some zine where he writes some like super like punk rock centric kind of column back then,
mm,
um, for this like little zine. I'm trying to remember which zine it was. Anyway, he's like, I'm intrigued by that period of his like life in music, because like if Hatebreed hadn't been the band they were and exploded, I think it would have been interesting to see how he fit into the hardcore ecosystem, like a hustler dude that's also plays in a band. Like there's a lot, like you look at the bands that found success, Dropkick Murphys is kind of the same way. Ken from the
mhm.
Dropkick Murphys like was booking shows. Like it was a guy who booked shows and was like, okay, I'll just get a band together
Yeah.
on a whim, and had that kind of hustler's mindset. Started a label
Yeah.
right away.
I
Started like,
imagine that's what Jamie would have done. I mean, I know
yeah,
he obviously did a label as well, but without Hatebreed, he would have done a label anyway,
yeah,
probably, right? Yeah.
yeah. And it would have been, yeah, like I think his heart's like, I know he gets a lot of critiques from people, and I'm sure there's people have reasons for doing that, but I think like his motives sometimes get a bad shake. Like I do think he actually loves this music. It just, he has always looked at it with a business mindset, which is so
Yeah.
looked down upon in punk. Even
Yeah.
though, you know, I'm sure I would love to hear him and Ian MacKaye talk about the business of punk and stuff, because I feel like both of them have that kind of like hustler mindset in different ways.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was talking about this to Alex today. I was like, I wonder how many hardcore bands split money up unevenly.
I would say probably more than we
Nowadays,
think.
probably more. That's what he said. He's like, probably more than we think, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think it's, uh, I think there's like, especially songwriting. I think there's a lot of shit that goes on with bands
Yeah.
behind the scenes that we don't know about, like bands having ghostwriters.
Mm-hmm.
That's been going on for a very long time. Like you and me both know that there's like, that's just a part of this scene, and
Hey,
maybe it's
bands
always
out
been.
there for the right price, I could even make yo shit tighter.
Yeah, I'm not going to make the same claim or reference it.
Nah, no, I what do I know? I'll sink your fucking band.
I think now, especially, that there's, I don't know if there is real money on the table, but there's like the possibility of real money on the table
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
So I feel like there's probably more of that. going on at this point?
I'm interested to know like what kind of money is popping off. I don't know. I can't call it because I also have been hearing about certain bands doing these big tours and they have to change half of the venues because of poor ticket sales and stuff like that,
Yeah,
like recently in this past year. And it's all these bands that are like going for it. And you're like, damn, they're really doing it. And then you hear from your industry insider buddies that, like, oh, yeah, that tanked, man.
I think that's happening for live rock music across the board right now. Maybe it's
Mhm.
happening for live music across the board, except for the very top end of stadiums.
Yeah.
Is that yeah, people don't necessarily go out as much, and people are being moved to smaller shows. But yeah, like you're saying, I haven't seen it yet with high school kids wearing like hardcore shirts, and like you'll see kids wearing Misfit shirts. I've seen
Mm-hmm.
little kids wearing Dystopia shirts, which is blow my fucking mind.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't seen them wearing the bands that are popping off in hardcore right now
No.
shirts yet.
Yeah.
And when you do start to see it, I think that's when we've hit that kind of critical mass tipping point type thing. When the mall kids start rocking those shirts. But there's not even Spencer's Gifts anymore in the mall, so I don't even know where you'd sell it.
There's Hot Topic.
Is there still Hot Topic?
Yeah. And Spencer. We have Spencer still.
Okay, we lost our Spencer in the mall, and so you've now settled the debate between me and the kids because I said all the Spencers were gone, but I guess it was just we lost ours one the
No,
Duffer
you
Mall in
got
Toronto.
Cherry Hill Mall in New Jersey has Spencer's Gift still.
We lost ours at Duff. The Dirty Duff no longer has
Damn.
a place to buy anime wrestling shirts and sex toys.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see what's gonna shake out with hardcore, but I don't know.
Hate
I'll believe it when I see it.
was Hatebreed the first commercially successful hardcore band? Like truly commercially successful hardcore band.
Commercially successful how?
Like selling, like able to go to the major label and actually level up.
Mm.
Like Jamey became like a for heavy music like a mainstream figure, and they became like a mainstream kind of heavy band.
That's the thing. Like I know he himself like hosted Headbangers Ball and stuff like that. But it's not like Hatebreed had like a hit song.
They had that one that was on MTV a little bit that I saw on MTV2 was
Oh,
that
really?
with the kids in this room. It's off
Oh,
Perseverance.
yeah, that's right.
That was kind of like a Buzzbin kind of hit, I guess. Like
Okay. Yeah, you're
very
right. You're right.
minorish, I guess. But like I
Yeah.
mean, Hatebreed was the band that signed to the major label and leveled up in a way that other bands before that I don't think it had been as successful to transition to the major label.
Yeah. I mean, I'm interested to see like because now that like the sound of hardcore is kind of like a little more open, like
Mhm.
I could see a hardcore band having a song that hits like fucking wake up, make up,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like why not?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, like it could happen. Like all it would take is I don't even know what it would take right now because it's not like all these traditional things that were there to break artists
yeah,
from the indie
yeah, I
world.
know. Like if that System of a Down song came out now, would it even be
Yeah,
a hit like that?
there's
Like
no video, there's nowhere to
yeah,
like there's no like TV show for that song or soundtrack album for that song to pop up on.
yeah, you're right.
Like it's funny like I was talking to the guy I was talking about that I did the podcast with today, and he has
Mm,
this. They have that one song that became ubiquitous, and like
yeah,
he was like, yeah, it was like in video games, and it was like in commercials, like it was everywhere, like, and it's like, yeah, that there's not really those places. Like, I guess you could sell a song to a commercial at this point, but there's not really like video games that feel like they're that influential in the way that like the Grand Theft Autos were back then, or the Tony Hawks were back then.
yeah, you're right. I mean that I know of. I don't know because I'm not a kid being influenced by that shit. Like maybe they are, then we just don't really see it. But I tend to agree. Yeah,
TikTok, I guess, like that would be what it
yeah,
takes is like a hardcore band with a song that has like a TikTok thing. I saw it with Turnstile. Like when that Turnstile, the new record dropped, there were a lot of kids
Mhm.
on TikTok doing stuff with the sound on that single. And so I guess they'd be the closest thing to having that. But you're right, like a band writing a really catchy breakdown part, or like having a wah type
Yeah.
part in their
Yeah.
song that goes viral. Maybe it did happen with Knocked Loose. Your friends.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know these dudes.
Because they have that like part in their song that I think people like go into, like a barking part or a like a something part that people are into, and it's become like a TikTok thing. But maybe it'll
K9
happen.
want their royalties knocked loose.
uh yeah, like speaking of beefs, I should say now that I think Dwid has changed a lot, and I think Jamey was dealing with a very different Dwid back then,
Yeah.
because I remember at the time this did not go over very well
Mm.
when this episode dropped.
Yeah, you
So
told me about that.
yeah, or so, but I think he was just speaking to his experience. Like I feel like a lot of the times when he's talking in this episode, he's actually going back to his mentality at the time rather than speaking from how he looks at it now.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So like I think with the quicksand thing and the integrity thing, he was kind of like really getting into how he felt back then to explain it.
Yeah, especially with the quicksand thing, because he said, like, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's like, I wouldn't say that now, or
Yeah.
whatever he said. He had a thing. But one thing that I really liked about that that episode was where he was saying that like 91 to like 93 was like an awesome time period. Cause I agree, like those 91 to 93, like so much of my favorite shit is from that time period, like music, comics. Like for some reason that's like I mean, just because of the age I was at that time, like that, you know what I mean? But I love those years.
Yeah, it's also that's the post Nirvana years, right? Like
Yeah.
when alternative culture explodes, and I promised we wouldn't talk about it, but there's like a reaction to this sort of amazing period that comes 94, 95 in music, where it's like no longer about dressing however you want to dress, like all this weird shit. It becomes very much more like about looking a certain way. And I'm not going to get into the bands that I think influence that, because I don't want don't want anyone to get any negative text messages this week
Mhm.
because of me. But I feel like there's a shift that kind of happens in the wake of that. But you're right, like post Nirvana, like comic books, film, like there's so much fucking cool film in the early 90s too. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it just felt like the underground explodes, and there's like people, an audience for all this stuff now. So yeah, like I love it.
I
And then
mean, just
hardcore
think
too.
think about the fact that they're like, I've never even seen this movie in full, but
Chris
think about
O'Toole
the
just texted me, say that he co-signs you 91 to 93 is the best time period.
nice. Hell yeah. But think about the fact that there was a Judge Dredd movie with Sylvester Stallone with a almost all shoegaze fucking soundtrack. That's
Yeah.
insane, dude. Like Judge Dredd at the time was like a UK like deep cut comic, it
Yeah.
wasn't like fucking Batman and shit like that. Like just like the Crow movie was fucking so sick. Like there's so much cool stuff then.
Yeah. There's also like Grand Royal magazine starts towards the end of that period. Like there's like cool
Hmm.
zines, like uh it's a cool period for skateboarding. I love the hardcore stuff too, like post Youth Crew, when everyone's like, okay, now what are we gonna do? And you've got like this sort of like groove coming in, or this heaviness coming in, like,
Hmm.
but it's not corny yet because everyone's just trying to figure it out. Graphics look cool at that point too. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
it's a great period.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's funny because like the the youth crew and the quote unquote like good hardcore mindset, writes off that time period for hardcore other than like
Power
power
violence.
violence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like to me, like that's like the most cutting edge. And like you look, a lot of it isn't like fucking the most listenable stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'm not bumping the Mohinder 7 inch or whatever. But that's like that's about as cutting edge as hardcore can get, in my opinion. You
Well, it's
know.
also that second period of crossover that Randy from Lamb of God talked about when he was on the show, where you've
Hmm.
got like I Hate God, Acid Bath, like Integrity,
Neurosis was blowing
Neurosis.
up right
Yeah.
then.
Like
Yeah.
you've got all these like cool progressive bands coming out of punk and hardcore because like it's almost like the rule book. It's interesting because you like look at the first explosion of punk, like 77, it explodes and there's like no rule book yet. So you can be Throbbing Gristle, you can be the Homosexuals, you can be the Buzzcocks, you can be the Clash, and you're all punk. It's like,
Yeah.
and then eventually it gets whittled away and it becomes a certain thing like a few years later. And I think that same thing happens post Nirvana, where it's
Hmm.
like, we don't know what this is. So it can be the Boredoms, it can be the Melvins, like anything Kurt likes is part of it, Vaselines.
Hmm.
But then it's also like, there's all this cool underground shit that's also kind of happening at the same time, counter to
Yeah, because
that.
I remember like KMFDM were like really pushed then, and
Yeah.
like shit like that, or like weird UK shit like Pop Will Eat Itself, and like there was so much stuff getting like a mainstream push. Like it was so dope.
Yeah. It definitely is like a crazy good period for, and an underrated like period, like you're saying. And maybe now it's getting a little more credit. Like people are
Yeah,
looking
for
back
sure.
on it now and like,
Yeah.
it was like a real great moment in creativity. Also, technology was such that like it hadn't overtaken the creative world, but people were
Hmm.
like using it in cool new ways, and like desktop publishing was just coming in. And
I'll say that the period right after where you're saying like, you're obviously insinuating that like Britpop and like stuff like that kind of like overtook that and like made it a little more dogmatic or style driven or whatever. Understood, right? But I think that electronic music in the 94 to 95 era, like directly after 93, because like rave and stuff was like existed in 91 to 93, but it was all kind of the technology wasn't there for like all the different kind of genres to like really dial into what they were until like 94, I would
Mhm.
say. And then you have like fucking, it turned from like acid house, hardcore techno, and like just hardcore, like breakbeat, like what we think of like classic rave music. And then it like develops into like, okay, this is jungle, this is trance, this is deep house, this is Goa trance, this is,
Yeah.
all that stuff starts like, this is filter house, like all that stuff from the 94 to 90, to I would say 94 to like 97, 98, like was just like an awesome uh period for electronic music. And I think what you're describing for alternative rock transferred over to electronic music in that time period, in my opinion.
Yeah. You also kind of guess see that with, I guess, early electronic music after the first punk explosion, where you've
Yeah,
got like a
yeah.
lot of interesting stuff, not necessarily always driven by that, but like
Hmm.
in the wake of that also kind of popping off that first time too. Yeah. It's it's cool like to kind of like be able to look back on this sort of stuff and track it. I know there's a book, I think it's Grell Marcus's Ranchers, Ravers, and Crowd Pleasers, and in it he talks about an economist that would look at the history of music
Mm.
and saying that you could like track economic booms and depressions based on people's taste in music at different times and popular
Oh
taste in
wow.
music,
Huh.
and you could predict markets if you looked at music trends and things like that. Like I don't know enough about economics to follow that, but I do think you can kind of look at the way music trends affect the larger music ecosystem, and you can definitely see how that all happens.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and also just to add on to that, like like trip hop type stuff. You know what I mean? Like at the same time, if you're bored by Blur and Oasis, dude, you have fucking Massive Attack and Portishead
Yeah,
and
they're
fucking that shit and like the
yes.
whole like Mo Wax and all that stuff popping off. That's just like mind bending shit.
And I think when Britpop first started, before it kind of became like a marketing thing, when it was just like a guy throwing it out in a label office, I might be quoting the guy that I had on the podcast today, actually, when I say this,
Mm-hmm.
it was like kind of a more interesting genre as this sort of like, because the British indie scene prior to that, I think like we're talking about with 91, 92, like the My
Mm-hmm.
Bloody Valentine, the
Sarah
Vaseline,
Records.
Sarah Records stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like Napalm Death and all that kind of side of thing that's also happening. And there's of course like Ripcords and all those hardcore bands. Like
Yeah.
that period of British independent music is so fucking cool, and there's just so much awesome stuff happening. And then a couple years into the Britpop thing, rock is very leveled out in England.
I
Or
agree, but I mean, if you're a person that is also just like a fucking enjoyer of good tunes, that polished Britpop era, there were tunes aplenty, man. You know what I mean? Like, like I get it. It was commercialized and it was streamlined and it was homogenized and stuff, but fucking Charlatans How High kicks in. You're like, oh my God, how can someone write this fucking song? This is insane. Like I don't know. If you're looking at a purely music standpoint and you're not like, well, I don't know, man, it's not a photocopied cover,
but if but you're saying like before, like the Mohinder 7-inch, like that stuff's not the most listenable,
yeah.
but it's cutting edge. Like
Mhm.
into the stuff that we're talking about, that's when it stops being cutting edge and starts being like commercial jingles.
Yeah, for sure. But
And
like, if you
they're
just,
catchy.
I'm just saying, if you're a fan of cut music punk off, and if you still like music, Britpop was fucking amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if I do after if I cut.
Yeah,
Punk
I don't think you like
I don't
music
think I
when
like
it's
music.
cut off from punk. Yeah,
I like Dipset, and think that's the only thing that I like that you can't some way connect back to punk.
I can rock with that.
Yeah, Wu-Tang Clan. Actually, I can connect Wu-Tang Clan back to punk. So
You can?
well through Jizza and like our little connections with that kind of stuff and different people
Yeah, but he probably doesn't even know about that connection.
No, he doesn't. Probably does not even know that he's on a fucked up record.
Yeah.
He has no idea.
You know what? One more thing I wanted to bring up about that time period was the earache signings and like the earache kind of like because Jamey like brought that period up in like in a positive way,
Yeah.
right? But then like if you I had like all of that like grindcore stuff that was and power violence stuff, like I forget what the hell record I have. It's like a plutocracy split, the like kind of like oversized 7-inch, like that always gets fucked up. I forget who is it's a split
Who's that a
with.
split with?
Yeah.
I know the record.
Yeah, but the insert, it's just like fuck Napalm Death, fuck Morbid Angel, fuck like it lists Carcass, every fuck Earache, blah blah blah, corporate sellout, blah blah blah, and it's just like I wonder if that's like I don't know, like a regional thing, like because I feel like on the East Coast people weren't feeling that way.
No, and I think it might have been a regional thing. I think it's also I don't know, like it's interesting because the Earache, by the time I was buying Earache stuff in the late 90s, it was like that weird electronic crossover thing. So yeah, like I don't know, like I would be interested to find out, do they say what the roots of it? Because there were a lot of fuck Earache things. Like I know business wise there's been some
it was when they I think they got like a major distribution deal.
Okay.
And it was like that time when Heartwork, Wolverine Blues, what was the Napalm Death record?
Harmony Corruption?
No, it was after that. But it was that rollout of that group of it was like the first time that they had like I think it was like Sony or something.
Yeah, and they had ads in comic books.
Yeah. I mean, there was literally a Wolverine crossover for Wolverine Blues, and I think that had something to do with it. And I don't know, like to me, like Carcass Heartwork is like a super challenging and interesting record, like so
yeah, like it was also at that point like the DIY side of the politics of this thing was like so strong, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so anything, especially in that world, I guess, because there's so much like fuck EMI kind of energy with a lot of that proto crust kind of scene
Mm-hmm.
that I think it would have been looked at as being like the worst possible sin you can commit. Yeah, like I don't know, it's they were like you go back through that catalog and you look at the stuff Earache put out and you're like, when it comes to like extreme music, like maybe like a good chunk of the 50 greatest extreme records of all time came out of on that label during that brief period. Like, and it's also, I'm always fascinated by that side of the scene because it's so kind of pan national, like the way they're looking, like they're putting out bands from America, like the Sleep record they put out during that period is like one of the greatest records too. Like,
Yeah. And they were putting out like experimental shit. Like what the hell is the one record where it's like Lou from Sick of It All and like fucking the dude from Napalm Death, and it's like a noise record that no one talks about.
Yeah.
It's like blood from a dead soil or something like that. It's like it's like a few words. I forget what it's called. And then like even like what was the Mick Harris shit? Painkiller, right?
Yep.
You know, like they put out a bunch of his.
Oh, Blood from the Soil.
Blood from the Soil. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Jay, for that in the chat.
Damn, we got chat dudes listening and like,
yeah, people
know
are
their shit.
coming in with some comments. CJ wrote videos on TikTok with just heavier and heavier stuff these days. So maybe it's coming. Maybe we're gonna have that like
maybe, but like it's just like the thing with TikTok is it's just like 15 seconds for somebody to the heavy music to come on, and then the person like shows you their labubu, and it's over. And like, does that translate to
Blood from the Soul? Sorry, I said
from the soul. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like the little labubu, a labubu moshing to end it. Like that. But I feel like all it will take is like one thing to kind of like really catch on with like kids.
Yeah.
Like, because my kids, like, I'll ask them like, you know, what's emo? And they'll be like, cut my life into pieces.
Mm-hmm.
This is my last resort. I'm like, fuck Papa Roach. But like that sound has been used so much in videos that they've seen over the years. Not that I've been playing them, but that they're now like, oh, this is like, this is one of the biggest bands ever. Like, so TikTok's got powers.
I'll tell you what, if my kid said that and didn't say native nod,
out of this house,
I'd be like, you're dead to me.
Believe me, I've tried to educate. If they see me pull out my phone and open something to play music, they'll just be like, no, Dad, no, I don't want to hear it. I don't care. I don't care at all.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, should we get on to our three things segment?
Let's do it.
Okay.
You started off since I whetted the appetite, or I primed the pump with my tiger mask.
Maybe I'll give myself a bonus one too, because as I was saying, I didn't know if I wanted to show stuff that I had from last week or different stuff. There was a request that came through for you, Woj, in particular, to show some skateboarding stuff. Yeah. And I don't have very much skateboarding stuff because I'm not a jock and I don't like sports. But I do have old issues of Big Brother.
Ooh, mama. Okay.
I don't have number 1, but I have number 2, which is super oversized.
Yeah.
Which is, I got it. I had a coworker, Michael, and he was like, we're talking about Big Brother, and I was like buying current issues back then. And he's like, I think I have issue 2 at my house, and so brought this in. It's a this magazine is obviously very controversial, but aesthetically one of the coolest skateboarding magazines ever. And
that 101 ad on the back with the bullets is amazing, man. Gabriel Rodriguez. Yeah, man.
And then I also got from the same dude, he came in and like, he's like, he just had random issues through the early years, but issue 3, which is awesome because it's spiral bound.
Yeah.
for their next issue. Like I think the first issue comes with like a cereal box or something.
There was a cereal box, but I don't think it like I don't remember if it actually just came with it. But yeah,
Okay, I thought it was like something packaging wise with the
it
first
might have
one,
been.
but
Yeah, wow, I remember that.
and then I have issue number 6, which has the infamous satanic
Yeah,
cover, the
yeah.
666 issue, and then issue number 10.
Wow, man.
Yeah, they were like, I don't know. That's something that I would love to try and find more of. Is
Yeah.
there like a Discogs for old magazines yet?
No, that's an amazing idea, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
there's not even a Discogs for comic books yet, really, right? Like,
that's so weird. Yeah,
yeah,
you think when someone develops that, I guess the comic book industry under Diamond would have been very resistant to that because like it would kill the comic book store. I think
hmm,
dead. You know, if you could buy back issues and you saw actually the price of some of these back issues, like when you had access to all of them,
yeah, true.
I think there'd be like a real problem for comic book stores after that.
Well, I always hear that Diamond's about to go under
It
any
did.
day now.
It
It
did,
did
didn't
go
it?
under.
I think so because I think Fantagraphs is desperately selling off some stuff to try and cover their Diamond loss.
Oh
Or
wow.
Diamond's filed for bankruptcy, so I guess that's what's
Okay.
kind of happening now, and they're I think going to sell off the assets, but I don't think a lot of these companies are holding out hope that they're going to get paid off. So if you would like to buy some Fantagraph books, now's the time to grab some. They've put out some of the greatest, hate comics and all sorts of
They're
cool
the
shit.
goats. They're the goats,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah. And it's so maybe we'll just do like a Discogs for outdated magazines so we can buy issues of Grand Royal and Big
Yeah.
Brother.
Hell yeah.
So what's your first item?
Okay. Big brother. I'll stick in the skateboarding realm. This is a skateboarding punk crossover. This is a Sakevi skateboard.
Oh my god. Now I see the art 100% on that. So did
Yeah.
Beast Arts do that or Beast
Yeah,
Still
this
Art?
was for his like clothing label Stealth.
Oh,
And
crazy.
these are the three sons of bin Laden. Their
Oh shit. I
heads.
remember those photos
Yeah.
after the bombing. Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
There's probably only like two more of these in the states. Maybe one even. I don't know.
Did you get it
I know of a couple people who have them.
did you get in a skate shop over there or like
No,
amusement?
I actually forget how I got it. I don't remember how I got it. But the top is just a blank top.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
pretty
that's
sick,
awesome.
man.
That's wild. Okay. Item number 2 uh is in keeping with the theme of the conversation last week from the TV show The Super Friends, a drawing of
Whoa,
Superman.
sick.
I got this at Vintage Animation in Santa Monica back when I was like a little kid when I went on a family vacation there. And I'd saved up all my like allowance to buy stuff and I was like, I'm going to buy animation art. And you get to these stores and you realize very quickly, even back then, like
Yeah.
how prohibitively expensive all that stuff was.
Hmm.
But I forget how much this was, but it was in my price range back then. So picked it up.
Hold it up to the camera.
So this would have
Interesting.
been a production drawing for a cell
Yeah.
that they wouldn't have traced and then painted. Um, and yeah, like it was cool. Like my brother and I actually also got, because it was super cheap. It was just after the movie Cool World came out, and they had a bunch of production drawings of Kim Basinger's character
Hmm.
and being two prepubescent hormone filled little kids. We bought all these drawings of her and brought them back home. Like Tristan must have 3 at his house of these
Sick.
drawings still that we got at the same place back then. But they were like, I think they were like $30 each back
Yeah.
then. And so
Yeah, I always like want to step to getting a couple cells. Like I might have one, but I forget. I don't know. Like whenever I'm in Japan, like I look at anime cells, and you could get some cool ones for pretty cheap.
yeah,
You
like
know?
I think it's probably one of those things that maybe even came down in price now because of the internet in
Yeah,
some ways,
maybe.
because there's more accessibility to get, because there's also 32 drawings per second
Yeah.
of screen time. So there's a lot of these things that are produced
Hmm.
afterwards. I think the other thing that was happening, I remember a lot back then, and probably still happens now, is Disney would do recreation cells. So they
Yeah.
would then do like a limited edition cell art for the market that you could buy at like Disneyland or
Yeah. Yeah.
type thing too, like an artificial collectible, like the
I
Steve
want the like
Aoki.
production notes on the borders and shit though. You know what I mean? Like that shit's so
Yeah,
cool.
that's what I was going to show. I've got a bunch of like comic book pages, and that's what I love about that is like seeing like the paste ups or where they like
Yeah.
redrew something and had to stick it on top and
You have a bunch?
a bunch. Yeah, I'll show them because like that was super cheap when I would go to comic book shows back then as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
The craziest score I think we ever had, and my dad sold them way before he should have. But we went to this like comic book show, and there was this guy Jimmy Craig doing art, and he had done like some Spider-Man covers,
Uh-huh.
and he had a stack of art from Iron Man issues 2, 3, and 4, which were illustrated by a guy named Johnny Craig.
Huh.
And I guess for some reason he had been sent all this Johnny Craig art and was just selling it at this comic book show for like $40 a page. And we got the splash pages for Iron Man issues 2, 3, and 4
Huh.
for like nothing, and then sold it. My dad sold it like years ago afterwards. They were never mine; they were his. So
Like the first run of Iron Man?
yeah, the '60s.
Oh shit.
Yeah, now they would be worth. I don't even want to think about how much they'd be worth
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Don't think about that.
No, I don't. I don't. I'm like, we would all be so set
Yeah,
right now with that stuff. I don't have anything quite that cool. I got some cool shit. I'll save it for like,
yeah.
next time we talk. But yeah,
I have one page. I'll let's do a page each on the next one.
okay, we'll do a comic book page next time. Okay,
Okay.
what's your next item?
Okay. So remember the last week or the last episode, I said I looked for something and I couldn't find it.
Yes.
I still couldn't find it, but I'll say what it was, and I have the flyer for the show where I got said thing. So 2006 CBGB's Marauder, Outburst, All Out War, Uppercut, Backlash, Social Disorder, and Dynamo. Here's the flyer.
Oh, was that one of the last shows type
Yeah.
thing? Yeah.
Yeah. So this show was really interesting because um I want to say Killing Time played too, but they're not on here. But a couple of the like Outburst and I think Killing Time, I was like, man, these pits are gonna be so sick, you know. They sucked. They were so lame that I was so bummed that I like didn't even like mosh or like go up front to sing along. I sang along for Outburst, I think, yeah. But you know, so anyway, at this show, I got a Marauder the Master Killer mixtape CD I bought from Jorge, and it's in like a slimline CD case, like mixtape CDs came then, and it's like some DJ they knew, like cut up Master Killer and did like blends with like Onyx and shit like that.
That's awesome.
Dude, I don't know what the fuck I did with it. I feel like I might have gave it to Hoodrack or something. I don't know. But
Is it not on Discogs?
no, dude, it's not on
That's fucking
Discogs.
crazy.
I know. I got to check my one of my hard drives. Maybe I ripped. Hopefully, I ripped it. I could see myself not ripping it though. But
Yeah.
it's such an insane
Yeah.
mid '90s artifact or mid 2000s artifact. You know what I mean? But it's
I guess
crazy.
like the only hip hop New York hardcore crossover from around that period I know of is that Mob Deep Sick of It All track.
That is
Most
like
heroes-
way earlier than that. That was like
Wasn't that? No, that was like 90. I guess it's like 96.
I think it
because
was probably after that. I think because
yeah,
it was on that Loud Rocks
yeah,
comp.
yeah, because it was after Mob Deep put out that record,
Hmm.
which I think was like the '96 record with the
Yeah,
dragon,
yeah. Hell on Earth.
Hell on Earth, yeah, and so that was you're right. So it must have been a good 5 years before that,
Yeah,
but
and that was like it was just like it was just I think it was just Mob Deep Survival of the Fittest acapella and
over top.
yeah, and Sick of It All just did a track or whatever.
I
But
remember that being the settlement for the legal dispute over the logo was that they would do a song together. And I remember an interview with, I think, Lou being talking about how they were kind of pissed off that it was just like an acapella and stuff. Like they didn't actually do like a new track for it.
huh.
So
I mean, that was a I don't know. That just if Mob Deep was using my band's logo, like I'd be like, hell yeah.
yeah, I get it though, because like back then, especially, it was
Yeah, I
like,
know.
like this is band's gonna steal our logo. There's like no recourse for this, but I don't like, yeah, I would be stoked too.
But meanwhile, it's so obvious what happened. Like Mob Deep saw that on a flash
Yeah.
in a tattoo shop. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, yo, we're all gonna get that. That's gonna be our logo. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like that's a million
100%.
percent what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. It's funny. Ryan Gavel went to, I think it was the final mosh or
Hmm.
something from No Warning, and he got given the Dynamo 7-inch at that show. Like someone just handed it to him.
Well,
And
that was happening at this show
oh,
when
maybe not.
Dynamo played this. Um yeah, Carl was just had the 7 inches and he was giving them out and as he
Yeah.
walked out. Yeah.
Maybe they were at that show and this happened, because that's where I got my copy of the first 7-inch. And I finally bought the second 7-inch a little couple years ago. But probably one of the most underrated New York records for me. I think the record, and now people love it, but that record's
Yeah.
fucking so sick. Both those
Yeah.
records are so sick.
Yeah, they're both really good. But yeah, I don't really remember much from this show, but Outburst I remember they sounded amazing. They sounded perfect. Um the singer had like a big ass Pantera shirt on. And this band Backlash played. Do you know Backlash from New Jersey?
I think I have the Backlash 45.
Mm,
If it's the same Backlash with a black and white sleeve, photocopy sleeve.
probably. And I had they had a one-sided 7-inch that came with a zine, and I had that.
I don't know if this is that with like a sleeve on it or something, but I definitely know Backlash from New Jersey. Yeah. Been a long
Yeah,
time since I listened to it.
they're good, man. They're really good. I feel like they're underrated. I remember this All Out War Pit was pretty heavy. Uppercut. I don't really remember the uppercut set.
I love that Uppercut LP
Yeah, I mean they're
so
amazing.
fucking much. It's also weird. There's two distinct pressings of that LP.
Yeah.
And maybe that's been reconciled on Discogs, but for the longest time, I was always trying to figure out what was the first so I could get rid of one of them.
When did Saab die?
Fuck. Let's look that up. Yeah, because that would have been around then, I thought, right?
Yeah. He died in 2006.
Yeah.
So
So
this
right
same
after.
year, he died in May, and this was August.
Oh,
So
that's
this was
correct.
after he died.
Yeah. Oh, someone piped in and said, "Yeah, New Jersey Backlash were great."
Yeah. Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, that show. It feels like if it had happened like now or even a few years ago, would have been
Hmm.
fucking ginormous.
Or even just a couple years after this,
Yeah,
because this is like before like this is because like like I think like all of the like Long Island like uh King Nine and what the hell was the other band that uh whatever all those like Long Island kids, I think they were like too young to go to, I don't remember those dudes being around then, like so like all those like New York hardcore dudes it was like right before they started coming around. They like just missed it.
Yeah, and Riot, like Power Trip hadn't done the Outburst intro, or
Yeah,
it
yeah.
feels like those bands, even though Outburst, like people were covering Outburst then, and like people did
Hmm.
know about Outburst, but like,
But meanwhile, all these bands mostly played after this anyway, so they saw them anyway.
yeah, well,
But not at CB's.
no, CBs, and like I remember someone talking shit about CBs or trying to say that like Death by Audio was like felt the same to play as playing CBGBs must have felt. And I'm like, no, having been to CB's, there's no venue that had that feeling on earth.
I agree, man. Nothing compares to playing CB's.
Yeah. And even just going in that room, like, I don't know. I just remember walking in there getting goosebumps, like, holy fuck. Like, I'm like, and I've been to CB's and looked through the window, but like every time I was there, it was like some terrible like showcase show, or
Mm.
I was never in New York for a good hardcore show until we played it. And just getting to finally go in that room, walking down that entranceway, and when the room opens up, the crow's nest, like it just is such a like, fuck, this is the perfect venue.
Yeah, man. I can't believe we got to play there, you know.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like, yeah, Gilman too, though. Gilman in a
Yeah.
different way, like was felt special, but I don't know, like just like CB's feels like you like made it somehow. Like I'm fucking here.
I
Like
know what you mean. Yeah. I love playing Gilman too,
yeah,
actually. Yeah. Something about it is dope, but
there must be so many fights historically at Cold World Gilman shows over the years.
yeah, there always is some sort of weird thing happening when we play there. You're right.
Fucked Up has a lot of fights over our history at the Gilman, like room clearing brawls breaking out where like everyone spills out on the street and is trying to fight on the street for a second.
Damn. The one time we played there was with Ceremony, and I think it was like a record release for them or something. And
That must have been insane.
and what was Lars Fredrikson's like boy band?
Old
With
Firm Casuals.
yeah, Old Friend Casuals, they played. And the line was so crazy. They said that it was like at that time it was the most people at a Gilman Street show in
Wow.
history.
AFI got banned. They must have had the previous record because they got banned from playing there because they had too many people show up to see them
Huh.
at one point. Like they were just like, we can't have you guys play anymore. It's just too nuts at this point.
I went like viral on Instagram last week because of AFI.
What'd you say?
Something.
I'm gonna get angry texts from members of AFI, maybe.
No, it was just like some like Brooklyn vegan type ass account like had like a before and after picture of what's the singer's name?
Davey.
Davey. It was like everyone's shocked by Davey's new look or whatever. And I just said I'm shocked by his old look because the old look he just like straight up looked like
Yeah, that he kind of invented the Hot Topic look back
yeah
then. I
yeah
remember him
maybe
playing Toronto at the Warp Tour in the year 2000. Like I will say, Davey, the whole time I've known him, has been like the most solid dude. He's never changed as a person,
mm-hmm.
but he is definitely the most extreme sort of outer changes that go on with him. Like I remember like seeing him one time. Like I met him when he was like a hardcore kid. That AFI ride that happens in Toronto. He came over to my house,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that's even after he was much more of like a youth crew Gilman Street kind of hardcore kid, or like straight edge hardcore kid. And then saw him again like 3 or 4 years later, and he was like Danzig out completely, and the
Mm-hmm.
records were Danzigged out kind of around
Yeah.
then. And then he kind of invents that Hot Topic look, and then he's always kind of changed and like, yeah, like I don't know, it didn't catch me as much off guard as some people did because, like you're saying, he's always had extreme looks. Like to me, he looked like kind of like the goth Lee Hazelwood kind of vibe with the
Yeah.
mustache and the hair.
Yeah. His new look isn't freaking me out. It's his old look that's
Yeah.
freaking me out. Like I told my friend, I was like, I think I've hooked up with this chick off Centrifuge.
JT is without a doubt like, yeah, like the most awesomely cool person, and I think you and him
Yeah,
musically would get along really well.
definitely. I mean, I love Danzig, and you know, everybody I know who knows him is just like, yo, he's the best dude ever. But I'll tell you what, man, if I ever link up with Davey, we'll get him a new look. I'll get him like an Avarex and some butters and some nice baggy jeans. You know what I'm
Yo,
saying?
if we had like, if Turned Out a Punk got successful, truly successful,
Hmm.
you styling Davey and Davey styling you,
Yeah,
that's my dream content. Like that's my dream YouTube video.
I'm with it.
I can't.
We can get Davey a nice shape up,
You guys like just like,
three cutting his eyebrows, trying to wild out.
oh, it'd be awesome. That's it. Okay,
He'll
everyone.
have me coming out looking like Gwen Stefani and shit.
Make Turned Out a Punk popular so we can make this happen. Please
Freaky Friday.
give us a budget. Okay, my next item,
Yeah.
winner of the G1 finals, or the winner of the G1 this year, Takeshita.
Ooh.
And this is when I did the episode with them of the wrestlers. This is his first appearance on the cover of Pro Wrestling Weekly Pro Wrestling. And I got him to sign it, and I think it was yeah, it was crazy, like an awesome hang. And like he's like a true prodigy. Like he was like 18, I think, when we did this episode, and just
Wow.
watching him kind of grow in wrestling. He's going to be one of those generational stars.
Yeah.
I think probably it looks like they're putting the rocket on his back to make him like the big star of Japan right now too. But yeah, did you buy any of these magazines when you're over in Japan? These are so cheap.
Yeah, I have mostly gongs.
Oh, okay.
You know, I go more for 80s stuff.
Yeah.
And some early 90s stuff, but you know, I love 80s stuff more.
This was like, I guess like $3.24.
Yeah.
I think if I'm doing the conversion
Yeah.
right. And yeah, like I'm so glad. Like we're in the middle of the shoot, and I'm like, yo, we're looking at the wall of these magazines. He's telling me about buying it when he was a little kid.
Wow.
And I'm like, are you on the cover of any of these? He's like, yeah, this one. I'm like, bought it right there and got it to sign. And there's like a lot of times that, you know, I'm kind of like too cool to do that. But around wrestling, I'm just a mark. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck, I don't mind asking you for an autograph right here, right now.
Yeah.
So,
I think we both agree that like autograph records are so cool. Like,
yes.
especially if you can get them like personalized in some way or something, you know?
I've never regretted asking someone to sign a record for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I think it's and I love signing people's records when people ask me to sign stuff for them, because I do think it's like, yeah, there's just something about it. And I feel like that's the one thing I would never want to see come to punk that's in pro wrestling and in other areas of entertainment, like comic book conventions in particular, where you have people start doing like autograph signings and paid events to sign people's records.
That sucks, man. Yeah, I can't imagine that. But
I saw a dude make a TikTok video about like being at a record store and Billy Corgan's there and being like, hey, can I buying the record, like buying a Billy Corgan solo 12-inch, running downstairs, buying it. Billy Corgan comes down, pays for his records. He's like, excuse me, Billy, can I impose upon you to sign this for me? I just bought it. He's like, I don't sign people's records because they always just wind up on eBay.
yeah.
It's like, dude, why do you fucking care what the person does with it?
Yeah, who cares, man? Yeah.
Unless they're asking you to sign like 50 copies of the same record or something, like, fuck, like what does it hurt you? Whatever.
Also, meanwhile, like, what if this one doesn't? You know, like,
exactly.
Yeah, you know,
yeah, it's like, I don't know. I find that's like a real wrestling mentality, because there's so many people in pro wrestling that just like abuse the privilege of getting something signed, like fan wise. So I can see why there's like a resistance to it there, but man, come on, just sign the fucking record, dude.
He has that kind of way of thinking, that like antagonistic.
The guy said he also took the record out of the wrapper inner sleeve, and the guy's like super gushing about this, like saying it's like a good thing. He's like, he looked at the record and said, "Oh, you shouldn't have paid for this much for this. Look how terrible condition it's in." It's got all these scratches on it. He's
Oh
like
my
saying in front of the
god.
guy at the store and the scooter just bought
What the fuck?
it. Oh,
What a
the
douche.
ultimate curmudgeon.
Yeah.
But yeah, so congratulations to Takeshita. And yeah, he looks so fucking young back then.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He made it to show me your three things.
Well, he's got show me your three things. What bigger trophy can you
Yeah.
receive? Not even the G1 lives up to this.
All right. My last thing is this.
Oh man. Is that for the record when the record came out or
Yeah.
oh, that's fucking awesome. Where'd you get
Yes.
that?
I was, I, there was this record store in Philly that I went to a few years back, and the dude was like a crazy Philly hip hop collector. He had like Steady B and Cool C like reels and like Schooly D reels and shit
Yeah.
like that. Like, and he's showing me all this stuff in like the back room. I'm like, damn, that's amazing. And he had like he had a flyer for Biggie's first show in Philly and like all this ill stuff, you know. And I was like, yeah, man. Like I like collect like all types of, you know, magazines and stickers and stuff. I'm like, do you have anything back here that like you didn't go through that, you know, I could check out and maybe buy? And he's like, yeah, here's a box of like old stickers and shit. And I got so many dope stickers out of this one fucking box, and this was in it, you know, and it was just like all 90s crazy stickers, like a OG Massive Attack sticker. Uh, I'll bring him out the next time, but I got a lot of dope stickers. But yeah, this one I just, and like I even there was like a Misfits flyer, like an old Skinhead zine, a bunch of weird stuff. And I'm like so glad I just asked that dude to, you know, what the hell he's got
Yeah.
back there, you know?
We played one show with Aphex Twin at Pitchfork Paris.
Mm,
And he said hello just walking by the dressing room. We didn't get to hang out with him. Everyone else was hanging out together. It was real cool. He
wow.
kind of kept to himself, but the
Yeah.
show was awesome. He had this tech. This is like going on 10 years ago now, where they would shoot someone in the crowd and it would put his face on their face in the audience. And it was like, it was so sick. I was so
Damn.
stoned because the band, one of the bands had all this weed they brought from Holland. So we're just like smoking tons of weed and then going out and watching this. And I'm not going to pretend like I was like a huge Aphex Twin fan, like or anything. Like I liked the songs and I thought the videos were always fucking amazing and stuff. But
Yeah.
Sandy, it was like a huge Aphex Twin fan in
Yeah.
the '90s, so she was like freaking the fuck out, like rocking out for it and dancing. It was a super one of those rare, really fun nights on tour.
That's awesome, man. Shit.
Well, I guess I got my bonus item
Yeah.
now. So when we signed to J Tree, I was like, yo, I want a signing bonus. And they were like, what do you want for your signing bonus? And for my, like, when I was a little kid, my like white whale record was, sorry, was the Turning Point 7-inch on gold.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I want a Turning Point on gold because Darren Walters, who runs J Tree, ran High Impact. So he's like, okay, I'll give you the Turning Point on gold. So I got the Turning Point 7-inch on gold, but he's like, I wanted you to give you like a 1-of-1 version of this thing. So he put in a first press sleeve and then gave me all the different versions of the insert, including the unfolded first press inserts.
Damn. Unfolded.
Unfolded. So this is like, I really want to frame these and I've just held off on it for years, but this might be the impetus to finally do it.
Holy shit.
But yeah, super cool. Probably the best thing that came out of us being signed to J Tree, to be honest.
Yeah. Handful of years ago, I forget how I found the guy, but the other guy of High Impact,
Mm-hmm.
I found out he was selling some records, and I went to his house in Delaware, and I got an unplayed first press Turning Point 7-inch off of him, and It's like a really low number too, because they're numbered, right?
Yeah, I must have got like I bought my first copy. My brother bought it from Simon Harvey, and it's a
Yeah.
really low number too. So maybe this dude kept the low numbers and over the years pieced them off, like like to people because like yeah, I've got like a ridiculously no low numbered, like I think in the 20s.
Yeah, let me find mine real quick. Should be right here.
This to me is like one of the greatest records ever, like 7-inch wise. Like
Yeah.
I rate this higher than a lot of like more popular records in this world, more popular bands even.
Do you have one of these?
A record box? I don't have a. Oh no, that's man, that's an awesome one. I have a
Yeah.
record 45 box, but no superhero one.
Hoodrack has a 12-inch version of this.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. So I keep all my like bangers in this.
Your firebox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean this one is like straight up unplayed. I played it once, maybe twice.
Yeah, mine was Dead Mint. I think probably unplayed looking too when we bought it back in the 90s. But then my cat back then bit the very top of the sleeve. So there's a tiny cat tooth puncture wound now at the very top of the sleeve. Luckily oversized, so it didn't affect the record.
Where are they numbered? I forget even.
Inside the sleeve. It's like a stamp on
Oh
the
yeah.
cover. Yeah, like I also the other thing I asked for the signing bonus was the Village People sleeve.
Number 5.
Oh fuck yeah, like super low number.
Yeah.
I'm
With a
want to go
stamp.
check my number, but I won't check it now. That's like the zero tolerance 7-inch. That was the other thing I got was the Village People sleeve of the zero
Nice.
tolerance 7-inch, and that and then all the records that Tim put out with his label, like because he did. Oh, what's his fucking label now? Fuck, but he did. What was some of the stuff he put out? Anyway, he put out a bunch of cool stuff too, interesting records around that time period. Oh, someone said don't put on that Aphex Twin mask because they're on acid right now and it's freaking them out.
I'm afraid to snap the string or like the one
Yeah,
side is like a little
no,
mess.
it's not worth wearing at this point. You fold
No.
it too, it goes, into your face
Nah,
contours.
man.
And,
Does your nervous breakdown have the fucking SST sticker?
no, I don't even have an OG nervous breakdown.
Oh, come on, son.
I was watching it go from an affordable record to a completely inaffordable record, like in
I got mine right off right. Yeah, like I got this for under a stack
yeah.
somehow, and it's like completely fucking dead mint and still has the SST sticker.
I kind of feel like SST records, like were not, no one cared about them. Even like the Stains 12-inch was
Mhm.
like a record that was somewhat affordable.
I agree. Stain's 12-inch, I think went up like in the last handful of years.
Yeah, definitely. Because like if you knew it was always the one of the best records that label ever had.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just like such an obscure record back then.
Yeah.
And like you could pick that record up for like $40 or like 20
Yeah.
bucks. And the good old days, man. Well,
Yeah.
we've done our 3 things and 4 things this week. So
Yeah.
I guess we'll do this again. Hopefully in 2 weeks is the plan.
Okay.
Does that work for you?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Okay, so we'll do 2 weeks from now because next week Lauren's away, so it might be kind of crazy come Wednesday night because I have to do baseball with the kids and it's playoffs. I had to coach the team this week because Lauren got sick,
Mm.
and that was like a clown coming into coach, but we won the fucking game.
Oh
It
yeah.
was insane. Yeah, like,
Oh
and the kids on my team were like the most ragtag bunch of like Bad News Bears s kids. And when
yeah.
we somehow came back at the bottom of, they only do 3 innings in this baseball, 4 innings in this baseball, and we came
Okay.
back and won by 1 run, and it was like,
Damn.
holy shit! I felt like I'd won the World Series. I was
Yeah,
so
that's
excited.
awesome.
All right, Woj. Well, thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you to the people in the chat for being here. And yeah, come on, tune in 2 weeks, and we'll all hang out again and talk about more.
Yes, sir.
Then I think I go over here and go.